Chapter 1176. Suppressing the chaos was the duty of the sacred physique, but it was not only the sacred physique that participated. In fact, some supreme emperors who cared about the common people and had universal love had also taken action. Ancient Chaos Emperor was one of them. This group of people came from above the 9 heavens and were extremely sensitive to ancient chaos. If Jun Xiaoyao's guess was right, the family behind them, or even the forbidden zone behind them, might have a trace of relationship with ancient Chaos Emperor. And judging from their attitude, it must not be a friendly experience. You are also from the forbidden family above the 9 heavens? Jun Xiaoyao looked at the group of mysterious people. You are Jun Xiaoyao? The group of mysterious people took a closer look, and there was a hint of surprise in their eyes. Obviously, Jun Xiaoyao's name was also spread above the 9 heavens. Although it was impossible to be as grand as the immortal realm, at least they had heard of it. This made the group of people's expressions change slightly. If it was anyone else, with their identity and background, they could directly find out and destroy them. But if it was Jun Xiaoyao, then it was different. Even if the forbidden family was high and mighty, if they wanted to provoke Jun Xiaoyao, they had to consider how capable they were. Unless the forbidden zone behind them made a move. But that was not something they could control. Thinking of this, the group of people's expressions were uncertain. They were not stupid. Although they were hostile to Jun Xiaoyao, when they thought of Jun Xiaoyao's name. Plus now, even the blood fiend Thunder Dragon had strangely submitted to Jun Xiaoyao. They would not be stupid enough to provoke him. Humph, let's go. The leader waved his sleeves and prepared to leave. Wait. An indifferent voice sounded. It was Jun Xiaoyao. The clue that they had just found could not be broken. Did I say to let you leave? Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent. Others might be extremely afraid of the forbidden family above the 9 heavens. Not to mention provoking them, they would be thankful if they were not provoked. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not have such awareness. He looked down on everything and ignored any background or force. Jun Xiaoyao, what do you mean by this? The leader's face darkened slightly. They did not take the initiative to provoke Jun Xiaoyao, but Jun Xiaoyao took the initiative to provoke them. Your hostility makes me unhappy. Tell me, why are you so sensitive to the descendant of ancient Chaos Emperor? It has nothing to do with you. The group of people turned to leave. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and sighed before snapping his fingers. Roar. The blood fiend Thunder Dragon in the blood fiend illusion roared and spat out blood fiend divine thunder. Jun Xiaoyao, you're going too far. Don't think we're afraid of you. That group of people shouted fiercely and unleashed their technique. The 9 heavens was the immortal 9 heavens, but the immortal fiend, the blood fiend dragon was the blood fiend. Even the people from the forbidden clan were no match for him. Of course, they had come to the void sky world, but they had lost their chance before they could plunder too many opportunities. Only the leader was left, and his expression was extremely ugly. I don't want to repeat my words, understand? Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. The leader gritted his teeth and said coldly, Great Emperor Ancient Chaos once offended the forbidden zone behind my Jin family. As long as you are the descendant of Ancient Chaos, even if you have the identity of the son of God of the Jun family, you will not have a good ending in the future. As expected, Jun Xiaoyao's guess was right. If he was not mistaken, it should be when Great Emperor Ancient Chaos suppressed the chaos of the world. He had once formed a grudge with a forbidden zone of the 9 heavens. Perhaps he had killed a big shot of that forbidden zone and formed a great enmity. And the Jin family was a forbidden family that followed that forbidden zone. Therefore, it was natural for them to be hostile to him, the descendant of Ancient Chaos. I think that Great Emperor Ancient Chaos way of doing things is indeed wrong, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly said. The Jin family member revealed a strange look and said, Why? You want to make peace with the forbidden zone behind my family? If you are sincere enough, It is not impossible, however. In the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao casually said, "What great Emperor Ancient Chaos did wrong was that he should not have left the Forbidden Zone alive. If it were me, so what if I directly flatten the Forbidden Zone?" "Jun Xiaoyao, how dare you? The Forbidden Zone behind my family is one of the 10 great Forbidden Zones. It is difficult for the heavens to bury it, and difficult for the earth to destroy it. It overlooks the eternal space-time." The Jin family member's face was pale, and he said fiercely. He thought that Jun Xiaoyao wanted to make peace. In the end, this descendant of Ancient Chaos was even more ruthless than Ancient Chaos himself. Jun Xiaoyao casually flicked his finger and directly destroyed the primordial spirit of the Jin family member. 10 great forbidden zones, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. To the beings of the celestial realm, the 9 heavens was an incomparably mysterious region. However, although it was mysterious, the 10 great forbidden zones were widely spread in the world. Those were the 10,000 spirit forbidden lands that absolutely could not be provoked. According to the little demon empress, this chaos began above the 9 heavens. The 10 great forbidden zones are the most important characters. What is the power behind the little demon empress? What about the forbidden zone related to Luoli? And the forbidden zone that has a grudge with ancient chaos? The more Jun Xiaoyao thought, the more he felt that the situation was inextricably linked and complicated. The 10 great forbidden zones were too complicated. Fine, I will think about it later. Jun Xiaoyao temporarily put it aside. Since the Blood Fiend Lightning Dragon had already submitted, Jun Xiaoyao could naturally safely enter the depths of the Blood Fiend illusion. At this moment, the scene changed. In another part of the Void Sky realm, a great battle erupted. The two sides of the battle were Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao's followers. Di Haotian's followers were Bai Luoxue, the red-haired ghost, and a few others. Jun Xiaoyao's side was Yu, Wang Chuan, Yan Qingying, and the others. This was a very strange battle. Bai Luoxue and the others were the most elite people of Di Haotian's era. Yu, Wang Chuan, and the others were outstanding people of the current era who had been taken in by Jun Xiaoyao. "Everyone, are you sure you want to continue fighting?" Bai Luoxue was wearing a white dress and had an ethereal aura. She had a special constitution and was intelligent, so she became the 4th of the 18 steeds of Yen Yun. The essence soul technique she cultivated was also very special and had something to do with her constitution. It could release a terrifying cold power that could completely freeze one's essence soul. Who was the first to provoke? Wasn't it the 18 steeds of Yen Yun who provoked my young master first? Yan Qingying shouted coldly. She was wearing a black dress and had fallen wings on her back. She was like a beautiful fallen angel in the dark night. "Why are you talking nonsense now? Just tear them apart." The red-haired ghost, who had the bloodline of the fiend race, had a violent temperament. At this moment, golden light suddenly shone in the distance. A golden path appeared in the void. A transcendent figure walked over like the son of an immortal god. His golden hair was as bright as the morning sun, and his silver eyes were as deep as the sun and moon. His temperament was lazy and casual, but he also seemed like a divine king who could control the sun and moon. It was Di Haotian. Chapter 1177. Dazzling divine light illuminated the world, creating thousands of streaks of colorful light. Di Haotian walked on the golden path, looking otherworldly. He looked like a descendant of God walking in the mortal world. "Lord Haotian." Bai Luoxue and the others knelt down to greet Di Haotian when they saw him. Bai Luoxue's eyes were also filled with admiration and admiration. "Oh no, that's the ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting. Why did he come to the Void Sky world?" Yu, Wang Chuan, and the others' hearts skipped a beat. As the saying went, seeing is believing. No matter how much one heard about the ancient young emperor, it was not as shocking as seeing it with one's own eyes. His aura was too powerful. His aura was also extraordinary. Although they did not want to admit it, they had to say it. Other than Jun Xiaoyao, there were very few people who could surpass him in terms of aura. Di Haotian glanced at Yu and the others. Yi Xin bloodline, sacred reincarnation constitution. Di Haotian glanced at them and easily uncovered the secrets of Yu and the others' talents. This ability came from his silver eyes. It was also one of his 3 great physiques, the silver eyes of illusion breaker. They could see through illusions and point to the source. It was an extremely heaven-defying pair of eyes that was not much weaker than polychoria. What was more terrifying was that this was only one of Di Haotian's 3 great physiques. It was not all of his abilities. Not bad. They are all talents. Jun Xiaoyao's foresight is not bad. Di Haotian smiled. One of the cavalrymen gritted his teeth and said, Lord, 13th and 15th have also died at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao's followers. 5 of the 18 cavalrymen of Yenyun had already died, all at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao and his followers. Di Haotian waved his hand with an indifferent expression. To him, the 18 cavalrymen of Yenyun were just tools, apart from the top few who were of some use to him. As for the rest, he had nothing better to do, so he decided to make up the numbers after subduing them. I'll give you a choice. Follow me, and in the future, you'll all be second only to me, and above all the other living beings. Di Haotian's tone was calm, but it did not lose its dominance. As the young emperor of ancient times, he also had the cheat of rebirth. Di Haotian believed that he was destined to seize the fortune of this golden era. If they followed him, they would indeed be second only to him and above all others. We only have one master, and that is young master. The loyalty of Yu and the others was unshakable. That was because all of them had been pulled out of the swamp by Jun Xiaoyao. Sending charcoal in snowy weather was much harder than adding flowers to brocade. A fine bird chooses a fine tree to nest in. Blind loyalty is somewhat irrational. Di Haotian's expression was still calm. There's nothing to say. Yu and the others immediately attacked. Yu drew his bow, and 10,000 arrows pierced through the air. The river of forgetfulness raised its sword, and the power of reincarnation surged. Yan Qingying summoned the devouring vortex. Goddess Eternal Calamity also summoned the power of sin. How dare you! By Luoxue, red-haired ghost, and the others berated and were about to attack. Di Haotian took a step forward, raised his palm, and pressed down casually. Vast and dazzling golden soul power swept out like a huge wave, turning into a supreme golden god. Like the Jade Emperor, it suppressed the 3,000 worlds. Boom! After the attack, there was no suspense at all. The primordial spirits of Yu and the others collapsed at the same time. Damn it! They gritted their teeth and disappeared unwillingly. However, this was only a part of their primordial spirit. Yu and the others did not die, but they had lost the opportunity to continue staying in the void sky world. As expected of the young emperor by Luoxue, red-haired ghost, and the others had respect and awe in their eyes. It would be difficult for them to kill them, but Di Haotian could do it with a casual attack. They are just Jun Xiaoyao's followers. If he is so weak, I will be very disappointed. Di Haotian did not care. However, in the next moment, he suddenly frowned. Before he could react, 2 beautiful figures suddenly appeared. They did not attack him. Instead, they attacked the other members of the 18 steeds of Yenyun. Except for Bai Luoxue and red-haired ghost, who were slightly closer to Di Haotian. The primordial spirits of the other knights were directly destroyed. The indifference on Di Haotian's face faded slightly. He frowned slightly and raised his palm. The surging golden soul power turned into a giant golden palm, pressing down on the 2 beautiful figures. One of the figures shuddered. A terrifying 8-armed demon god appeared and blocked Di Haotian's palm. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Another cold female voice sounded. Then, the 2 beautiful figures disappeared into the void at the same time. It's them again. Seeing this, red-haired ghost could not help but yell. The two shadows that appeared and disappeared unpredictably were like assassins. Of course, they were Xian Yu and Su Hongyi. Just now, it was Su Hongyi who used the Black Sky Emperor clan's Mo Haitian to block Di Haotian's palm. They are also Jun Xiaoyao's followers? Di Haotian was slightly surprised. Among Jun Xiaoyao's followers, there were actually people who could block his palm. It was indeed out of his expectations. Moreover, it was two girls. It's the two of them. They also killed 13th and 15th, Bai Luoxue said. These two are indeed sharp blades. One doesn't seem to have any special constitution, but seems to have fused with many special bloodlines. The other's power is somewhat incompatible with the celestial region. It seems to be a foreign emperor clan's art. This Jun Xiaoyao has a unique eye. Di Haotian's silver eyes of illusion breaker immediately saw through the two. That's because Big Brother and the others didn't come. Otherwise, those two women wouldn't have been able to kill our people, Red-Haired Ghost said. Among the 18 horsemen of Yenyun, the top 3 were the strongest, and they were all opponents who had challenged Di Haotian. Since they could become Di Haotian's opponents, one could imagine that they were not weak. They were only willing to follow Di Haotian because they were defeated in the end. Okay, let's go. Di Haotian put his hands behind his back and did not care. This was just an interlude. Next, it's the blood demon illusion. There is a great opportunity there. If I get it, I can use it to refine my Imperial Path golden body. Di Haotian had a plan. He took Bai Luoxue and Red-Haired Ghost to the blood demon illusion in the depths of the void sky world. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao had already gone deep into the blood demon illusion. Because of the bloodline of the sacred body, he did not encounter any danger. After continuing to go deeper into the blood demon illusion, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly found. In front of him was a blood-stained abyss. There was a drop of blood in it. A drop of ordinary red blood. It looked ordinary, but it was not so ordinary. This was because the entire blood fiend illusory realm was formed by this drop of extremely strong blood. Even the blood demon thunder dragon was only formed by a wisp of blood chi emitted by this drop of blood. The moment he saw this drop of blood, Jun Xiaoyao understood in his heart. This was the blood of the sacred body of the ancients. And it was not the blood of an ordinary sacred body of the ancients. It was the great accomplishment sacred body of the ancients. No, it was even more perfect than the great accomplishment sacred body of the ancients. This was the bloodline of the sacred body, the blood of the strongest. Chapter 1178. That drop of blood was very red, like a fire diamond. It was unknown how long it had been, but it still exuded a terrifying aura. Even the entire blood illusion was formed because of this drop of blood. The blood of the sacred body of the ancients appeared in the depths of the void sky realm. What did this mean? In the great battle hidden in ancient history, the sacred body lineage was the absolute main force. This drop of blood should have been left over from that great battle. It had been so long since then that it was unimaginable. However, this drop of blood was still fresh, like a beating heart, as if it was alive. The blood of the sacred body lineage is covered with a layer of bright gold, while the perfected sacred body returns to its original nature. This drop of blood is absolutely perfect. Even among the perfected sacred bodies, it is absolutely flawless. Jun Xiaoyao was very curious. Who was the owner of this drop of blood? Although I don't know who it is, it means a lot to me. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were very bright. To him, the value of this drop of blood was definitely no less than that of the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. Jun Xiaoyao signed into a sacred body of the ancients that broke 10 shackles when he was born. But strictly speaking, it was not a perfected sacred body. A true perfected sacred body of the ancients was an existence that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the emperors. Jun Xiaoyao only had a perfect sacred body with no restrictions. Now, this drop of blood was too important to Jun Xiaoyao. This was the blood of the strongest sacred body lineage, which was very helpful for him to comprehend the secrets of the sacred body. And don't forget, Jun Xiaoyao had only comprehended 4 of the 6 visions of the sacred body of the ancient. It was not that he was not smart enough. It was just that he had to comprehend too many techniques and abilities, and he had been cultivating the chaotic physique. So, he did not have the extra energy to comprehend the visions of the sacred body. Now, after obtaining this drop of blood, Jun Xiaoyao could not only use it to temper his sacred body, but also get the opportunity to comprehend the visions of the sacred body. When the 6 visions gathered, they would form the 6 paths of reincarnation, which could defeat all enemies. This was the same as the 9 great godly forms of the tyrant body. When all of them were comprehended, their power would be multiplied. Without the slightest hesitation, Jun Xiaoyao put away the drop of Saint Physique blood. If it were anyone else, their primordial spirit would have been shattered just by coming close to this drop of blood. That was because the blood of the saintly body was extremely masculine. Primordial spirits were of the yin attribute, so it was impossible to get close to them. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, was completely unaffected because he had a holy body. Jun Xiaoyao was in a good mood after putting away the drop of perfect sacred blood. The sign-in hasn't been triggered yet. I should be able to go deeper. After making this judgment, Jun Xiaoyao continued to move deeper. He sensed it carefully, and faintly sensed that there seemed to be faint fluctuations of reincarnation in the depth. Not long after Jun Xiaoyao went deeper into the forest, he suddenly heard something. 3 figures appeared outside the blood fiend illusory realm. They were Di Haotian, Bai Luoxue, and the red-haired ghost. Young king, this is the blood fiend illusory realm, a forbidden area of the void sky world. It's difficult for primordial spirits to enter, Bai Luoxue said. Of course I know, but it doesn't matter. Di Haotian's expression was indifferent. He waved his sleeve, and a vast golden soul power surged, enveloping Bai Luoxue and the red-haired ghost. Then, the 3 of them directly entered the blood fiend illusory realm. As expected of the young king, Bai Luoxue's eyes were filled with admiration. Such a forbidden area couldn't stop Di Haotian's footsteps at all. However, Di Haotian frowned slightly. He sensed that the blood qi here seemed to have weakened a lot. Thinking of a possibility, he quickened his pace. Soon, they arrived at the depths of the blood fiend illusory realm. There were only traces of blood qi left in the abyss. Among them, what Di Haotian really wanted was gone. Di Haotian frowned. Di Haotian didn't care if he didn't obtain the pseudo-root of the 6 paths of reincarnation, immortal root, the first time. But this time, he also didn't get the drop of blood that could refine his physical body. This caused Di Haotian to be alarmed. It seemed that someone was 1 step ahead of him and took the opportunity that originally belonged to him. Once is a coincidence, twice is a coincidence. Then let me see if there will be a 3rd time. Di Haotian's eyes flashed with a dark light. The true 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was in the depths of the void sky world. He had to get it. Di Haotian and the others quickly went deeper. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao, who was walking at the front, found that he had already walked out of the blood fiend illusory realm. As far as the eye could see, there was a grotesque starry sky in front of him. All kinds of spatial cracks and time cracks were everywhere. The broken universe, the dim stars. It formed an extremely chaotic place. It seems that this should be the deepest part of the void sky world. It might also be the center of the clash between the supreme experts, Jun Xiaoyao thought. If one of the supreme experts was the master of this drop of perfect sacred blood, then how powerful would his opponent be? Is there such a terrifying enemy of the sacred body branch? Has the enemy of the sacred body been eliminated? Jun Xiaoyao thought. He felt that the enemy of the sacred body couldn't be from the tyrant body branch. Although the tyrant body was strong, it couldn't have started such a huge war with the sacred body branch. Longevity Island, the underworld, the curse of the sacred body, the war reflected in the void sky world, Jun Xiaoyao thought as he walked. He felt that there must be a shocking secret. The forbidden zone in the ninth heaven, the mysterious underworld, the curse of the sacred body, the war in the void sky world. All of these were like a web, and they were all secretly connected. However, Jun Xiaoyao hadn't found the key clues yet and hadn't figured it out yet. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was thinking, suddenly, the mechanical voice of the system sounded in his mind. Ding! You have reached the sign-in location, Void Sky World. Do you want to sign in? Sign in! Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 8-star reward, the Heart of Protector. Heart of Protector. Jun Xiaoyao was puzzled. Then, he checked the function of the Heart of Protector. He found that the Heart of Protector was an extremely powerful enhancement method. As long as the host had the compassionate Heart of Protector, he could integrate it and directly break through a realm below the Quasi-Emperor realm. It can unconditionally increase one level and continue to enhance my body? This was a very good check-in reward. No wonder it could reach 8 stars. Although there was a restriction below the Quasi-Emperor realm. But one could imagine that if a Chaos Dao Venerable refined it, he could directly break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. This was absolutely heaven-defying. If word got out, countless Dao Venerables would fight over it. However, Jun Xiaoyao wasn't too tempted, because it wasn't difficult for him to break through to the Quasi-Emperor realm. Moreover, to integrate this Heart of Protector, one needed to have a compassionate heart to save the world. Jun Xiaoyao didn't have that. He was willing to protect his family, friends, and beauties, but he wasn't interested in saving the world. Now, he had become a hero respected by everyone in the immortal realm. It was just a coincidence. At the same time, he collected the power of faith. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao didn't care about being a savior at all. He was more like an anti-hero. As for Jun Xiaoyao's father, Jun Wuhui, he was very suitable. He was a real hero. However, Jun Wuhui had his own path, and had his own path to walk. He didn't need this Heart of Protector. By the way, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up. He thought of someone, the person most suitable for the Heart of Protector. Chapter 1179. The person that Jun Xiaoyao thought of was naturally the last sacred body of the Desolation Sacred Palace, Wu Hu. Jun Xiaoyao felt that if chaos really came in the future, the sacred body was definitely a crucial role. And now, in the entire immortal realm, other than him, only Wu Hu had the sacred body of the Desolation. The Heart of Protection was the most suitable for him. And Wu Hu himself also had a benevolent wish to protect the world. I always feel that Wu Hu will play an extremely important role in the future. The sacred body lineage, including the former Desolation Sacred Palace, had once borne the mission of stopping the Great Calamity. Wu Hu was the last sacred body of the Desolation Sacred Palace. Naturally, he was also born to face the calamity. Jun Xiaoyao himself should also be a person to face the calamity. But if he could have one more helper, why not? Moreover, Wu Hu was now a divine venerable and was also a big shot in the Emperor's court. Helping him was beneficial to Jun Xiaoyao and the Emperor's court. In the future, the Emperor's court would be more stable with a sacred body in charge. After making up his mind, Jun Xiaoyao put away the Heart of Protection. He continued to walk in this chaotic area. It could be said that not many people could reach such a deep place in the void sky world. There's an aura. Jun Xiaoyao sensed a certain aura and looked over. In front of him, there was a pitch-black void crack. There was a faint brilliance surging within. Jun Xiaoyao focused his gaze and was surprised to find that it was a cocoon of light. Among them, there was a hazy figure that could not be seen clearly. What's going on? Jun Xiaoyao was very surprised. There was such a cocoon of light in the spatial crack in the depths of the void sky world. It was too strange. Moreover, the cocoon of light was filled with a faint reincarnation fluctuation that contained extremely terrifying energy. Could this be the real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route? Jun Xiaoyao guessed. Just as he was about to go forward to investigate, a faint voice came from behind. We finally meet, Jun Xiaoyao. This voice was steady, calm, and carried a sense of confidence, as if it was the ruler of the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao turned around and saw Di Haotian and the others. He had long golden hair, silver eyes, a slender figure, and a face as handsome as a god. It had to be said that when he first saw Di Haotian, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with a faint surprise. It was rare for him to see someone with such an excellent temperament. Although he couldn't be compared to him, he wasn't too far off. Xian Ting, the ancient young emperor, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Other than the mysterious ancient young emperor, Jun Xiaoyao could not think of anyone else. Not to mention that Bai Luoxue and the red-haired ghost were standing beside him. While Jun Xiaoyao was sizing up Di Haotian was also sizing up Jun Xiaoyao. It had to be said that this man's appearance and temperament were something he had never seen before in his life. Di Haotian's silver eyes flashed with a faint silver light. The aura of chaos is indeed similar to the chaotic body. He has indeed received the inheritance of Emperor Qing, Di Haotian muttered to himself. Just as he was about to activate the silver eyes of illusion to conduct a deeper investigation, a strange look appeared in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, and his body shook slightly. Chaotic qi surged up and filled his body, giving Jun Xiaoyao a vague and ethereal feeling. He activated the sky-stealing sun-swapping technique. Silver eyes of illusion. Jun Xiaoyao had heard that this ancient young emperor of Xian Ting had 3 great physiques. The silver eyes of illusion was one of them. It could see through many illusions in the world, and it was not much worse than the polychoria. Jun Xiaoyao had many secrets, and there were many rare treasures in the inner universe. Naturally, he would not let Di Haotian see through him. Not to mention that he also needed to hide his quasi-innate sacred body Taoist embryo, which would be of great use in the future. Di Haotian's eyes flashed with a strange look. He found that his silver eyes of illusion could not see through Jun Xiaoyao. A secret technique to hide one's aura? Unfortunately, the power of my silver eyes of illusion is more than that, Di Haotian muttered to himself. After cultivating the silver eyes of illusion to a high level, he could even see the karma threads. Let me see what the karma of you, a person who originally did not exist, is. There were silver runes flowing in Di Haotian's eyes. Previously, in the memories of his rebirth, Jun Xiaoyao was a person who did not exist. Now, all the deviations pointed to Jun Xiaoyao. Could be said that Jun Xiaoyao was a person who had changed the world. Therefore, Di Haotian wanted to see through Jun Xiaoyao's secret. However, what surprised Di Haotian again was that he could not see Jun Xiaoyao's karma. There were only 2 reasons. First, Jun Xiaoyao's karma was blocked. Second, Jun Xiaoyao was not affected by karma at all. Di Haotian thought that was the first reason. Interesting. This makes me more and more interested. Di Haotian smiled faintly. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was also calm. He also noticed that Di Haotian was using his silver eyes of illusion to check his karma. Unfortunately, he was a fateless one. He wanted to control his karma and fate. Di Haotian was too inexperienced. Young Emperor Red-Haired Ghost and Bai Luoxue were puzzled. Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao stood facing each other in silence. Neither of them knew. In the short period of time just now, the 2 of them had already gone through a round of psychological competition. This was a real fight between experts. Every move was fatal. Since I was born, the name I heard the most was Jun Xiaoyao. Today, I can see that you live up to your reputation. Di Haotian's bearing was graceful, just like the Jade Emperor in the legends. The ancient young emperor of Xian Ting. You live up to your reputation. Jun Xiaoyao also smiled faintly. He was not afraid of facing the most monstrous genius of Xian Ting. You got the immortal root of 6 paths of reincarnation, Di Haotian said. So what? And that drop of blood, you got it too? You know there's a drop of blood in the blood fiend illusion? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with surprise. I judged it from the residual blood qi there, Di Haotian said calmly without changing his expression. His rebirth was his biggest secret. He could not let anyone know. Otherwise, he would be in trouble. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flickered with a pondering look. It seemed like this ancient young emperor of Xian Ting had something up his sleeves. He was different from the other leaks he had seen before. So, what do you want? You killed my follower. Logically speaking, this young emperor should settle the score with you. However, they were the ones who provoked me first. Besides, you're indeed one of the most talented geniuses of this era. I'm quite impressed by you, Di Haotian said. The meaning behind his words was very clear. Di Haotian was planning to recruit Jun Xiaoyao as his follower. In other words, in the entire Nine Heavens, immortal realm. Even a real martial monarch did not have the right to recruit Jun Xiaoyao as his follower. The reason being that Jun Xiaoyao would at least become a martial monarch in the future. It was easy to imagine how arrogant Di Haotian was. No one was more arrogant than him. Jun Xiaoyao didn't get angry when he heard what Yi Futian said. Di Haotian, don't let me underestimate your intelligence. Jun Xiaoyao's mouth was vicious. He did not curse at all, yet he was cursing Qin Nan. Anyone else would have died from anger by now. But who was Di Haotian? His expression remained calm. I know you might not be convinced, but it's fine. A few of my subordinates from the 18 horsemen of Yenyun have challenged me before, but they all lost and became my followers. And you, Jun Xiaoyao, are no exception. Di Haotian said calmly. You can give it a try. Jun Xiaoyao waved his sleeves. He was not intimidated even when he was facing the ancient young emperor. Right at this moment, the cocoon of light in the spatial crack suddenly trembled. Its surface was covered in cracks. A petite figure appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao and Di Haotian. Chapter 1180. When Di Haotian arrived here, he immediately noticed the cocoon of light. He also guessed that it was definitely something special. It might even be the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route. Although Di Haotian had heard about the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route, he had never seen it with his own eyes. After all, Di Haotian only knew some information about great fortuitous opportunities. It was impossible for him to have experienced every fortuitous opportunity. What surprised both Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao was that, at that very moment, Jun Xiaoyao and Di Haotian found it strange. What emerged from the cocoon of light was not the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route they had imagined. Instead, it was a curled-up little girl. The little girl did not look very old. She was about 5 or 6 years old. She was wearing a little white dress that was as light as a cicada's wings. She had a head of long silver hair, and her skin was as white as ice and snow. It was extremely fair. That white and delicate face that was like porcelain was carved out of jade. Her eyes were closed, and her eyelashes were very long. Her slender and tender limbs were curled up like a baby in her stomach. She looked like an exquisite, beautiful, and extremely cute porcelain doll. This surprised Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao. In the deepest part of the void sky world, a cocoon of light in a spatial crack had given birth to such a fairy-like little girl. Could she be the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route? Di Haotian could not help but guess. There were indeed some immortal herbs that had spirituality and intelligence and could transform into a human form. This was not considered rare. Just as the two of them were sizing up the little girl seemed to feel something. Her long eyelashes that were like butterfly wings trembled slightly. Then, she opened her big, black, and white eyes that were as flawless as gemstones. The first thing she saw was Jun Xiaoyao. It was rumored that when a chick hatched from its shell, it would treat the first living being it saw as its closest existence. And now, the first person this little girl saw was Jun Xiaoyao. Instinctively, the little girl called out in a childish voice, "Daddy!" Even Jun Xiaoyao, who had never shown his emotions on his face, was slightly taken aback. He looked to his left and right and was a little startled. Was this little girl calling him? Was he going to be a father? Even Jun Xiaoyao was a little confused and couldn't react for a moment. Was this really a creature created by the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root? However, there was only an extremely faint aura of reincarnation on her body. It was not obvious. If this little girl really was the true body of the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root, then it would be a little difficult for him to refine her. After all, refining copper was not allowed. On the other side, Di Haotian's eyes flashed with silver light. He activated the silver eyes of illusion breaker, and there were fine silver runes flowing in his mercury-like pupils. He wanted to see through this little girl's secret and find out if she was really the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. However, in the next moment, Di Haotian only felt that his vision was extremely dazzling. He felt like he was staring at a great emperor. It was even more terrifying. Pucci. In an instant, a terrifying backlash force appeared. Tears of blood flowed from Di Haotian's eyes. Even he couldn't help but cry out, and his body directly exploded. Young Emperor! Bai Luoxue and the red-haired ghosts' faces changed when they saw this, and they were extremely pale. What's going on? Di Haotian's essence spirit directly exploded. Jun Xiaoyao's pupils constricted slightly when he saw this scene. Then, he resisted the urge to check the little girl's background. However, although Di Haotian's essence spirit exploded, golden soul power was still vibrating. Vaguely, there seemed to be a golden emperor with a terrifying aura that could suppress the universe. The scattered golden soul power actually condensed into Di Haotian's body again. However, compared to before, Di Haotian's essence spirit was 70% illusory. The current Di Haotian was really a little like a ghost, thin and transparent. As expected, it hasn't been destroyed yet? Jun Xiaoyao felt that it was a pity. If Di Haotian was really eliminated just like that, it would be a little funny. However, Di Haotian's essence spirit also made Jun Xiaoyao a little vigilant. Di Haotian's special essence spirit was also one of his 3 great talents. Rumor had it that he inherited it from an ancient supreme emperor of the Xian Ting. He was unimaginably powerful. However, this also proved it from another perspective. This little girl's background was not ordinary. Di Haotian used his silver eyes of illusion breaker to investigate, but he suffered a terrifying backlash. Daddy! The little girl seemed to be a little afraid of Di Haotian's invasive gaze. She directly rushed towards Jun Xiaoyao. Like a swallow returning to its nest, she crashed into his embrace. Jun Xiaoyao was stunned. He was really stunned. The little girl's body was light and soft as cotton. Her silver hair was as smooth as silk, and her skin was as delicate as jade. Her big eyes, which shone like stars and were as clear as gemstones, were blinking and staring at Jun Xiaoyao. Daddy, you're so beautiful! The little girl hugged Jun Xiaoyao's neck. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. Did this girl choose her father based on his looks? As expected. On the other side, even Di Haotian's eyes were twitching slightly. Was he not handsome enough? That was not the case. If he stood out, he would definitely charm countless girls. But now, the little girl with a strange identity and a mysterious origin was chosen by Jun Xiaoyao. Even a fool knew that this little girl was definitely not ordinary. She could make his silver eyes of illusion breaker suffer a backlash, so she was definitely not ordinary. If he could gain her trust, he might be able to research some big surprises in the future. You can't do the same thing 3 times. This is already the 3rd time. Di Haotian began to take it seriously. From the pseudo-root of the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root at the beginning, to the drop of blood in the blood fiend illusion, and now to the little girl. Logically speaking, these opportunities should have belonged to Di Haotian. Didn't he reincarnate into the early stage of the Golden Era because the will of heaven wanted him to dominate this era? Plus, the memory of reincarnation. In his eyes, all the prodigies were leeks that could be harvested. But why was it that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have replaced him and could always take away his opportunities in advance? Di Haoyan did not like this feeling. It was as if Jun Xiaoyao had taken away everything that originally belonged to him. If Jun Xiaoyao was not here, Di Haoyan was confident that this little girl would definitely recognize him as her master. Daddy hungry. The little girl blinked her big eyes and was extremely cute. Jun Xiaoyao directly took out the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. He wanted to test whether this little girl was the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. From this, one could see how smart Jun Xiaoyao was. As expected, the little girl's eyes lit up. Is this okay? The little girl asked for Jun Xiaoyao's permission. She was very obedient and was not like a naughty child. Of course. On the one hand, Jun Xiaoyao wanted to test the little girl. On the other hand, he also wanted to get along well with the little girl. After all, this little girl's origin was a big secret. However, who would have thought that after Jun Xiaoyao agreed? The little girl opened her small red mouth and ate the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root in big mouthfuls. The basin-sized 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was swallowed into the little girl's stomach. Seeing this scene, Di Haoyan and Jun Xiaoyao were both stunned. What kind of existence was this little girl? Chapter 1181. Let's not talk about whether this 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was real or fake. Even if it was a fake root, the power contained in it was also extremely powerful. Even a supreme martial artist would have to refine it carefully. But this little girl ate it in a few bites as if she was eating a snack. And her body didn't react at all. This was too strange. What kind of existence is she? Jun Xiaoyao was really confused. He didn't deliberately investigate. It would be bad if he suffered a backlash. But all signs showed that this little girl had a big secret behind her. Di Haoyan stepped forward and looked at Jun Xiaoyao. I'm a little interested in this little girl. Brother Jun, can you part with her? The power of his primordial spirit was less than half of what it used to be. After all, the backlash was too severe. Hearing this, Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything. But the little girl wrinkled her nose and turned to look at Di Haoyan. Bad guy. She was not an object. How could he exchange her back and forth? And he wanted her father to hand her over. If he wasn't a bad guy, what was he? Di Haoyan didn't care. He finally understood. As long as he didn't court death and attack the little girl, she should be harmless and pose no threat. Di Haoyan looked at Jun Xiaoyao. The little girl, on the other hand, had a pair of big, bright eyes. Her eyes were sparkling. She stared at Jun Xiaoyao pitifully and innocently. When she woke up, the first person she saw was Jun Xiaoyao. She instinctively regarded him as her father. Naturally, she didn't want Jun Xiaoyao to abandon her. Jun Xiaoyao was not stupid. The mysterious origin of this little girl was very likely unimaginable. Not to mention that Jun Xiaoyao also liked obedient and cute daughters. Although he liked being a father, Jun Xiaoyao didn't mind being a stay-at-home dad. He reached out and scratched the little girl's delicate nose. The little girl smacked her lips and kissed Jun Xiaoyao's cheek. She knew that Jun Xiaoyao would not abandon her. Di Haoyan's eyes darkened slightly. He didn't see the little girl as a living being, but as an opportunity. Jun Xiaoyao had taken the opportunity that originally belonged to him. It seems like you don't take me seriously at all. Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyelids slightly. It's good that you know. In terms of eloquence, Jun Xiaoyao did not speak much, but he could definitely infuriate people to death. No matter how calm Di Haoyan's personality was, he was still a little unhappy at this moment. After that, there was nothing left to talk about. He directly took action. Golden soul power surged, turning into a dazzling golden palm, as if it was cast from immortal gold. Vast sun divine palm. It could be said that the moment Di Haoyan made his move, everyone knew how terrifying his strength was. In the entire void sky realm, Very few people could receive this palm strike. Jun Xiaoyao manifested the Mahavairakana Dharma form. The Golden Buddha also stretched out a palm and collided with the vast Sun Divine palm. Instantly, waves of energy rippled through the area. The originally chaotic space was now riddled with holes. Jun Xiaoyao did not want to delay any longer and directly used the Buddha slash. An ordinary sword light swept out and swept towards Di Haotian and the other two. Even Di Haotian sensed the uniqueness of this sword light. Sword law. There was surprise in Di Haotian's eyes. He opened his mouth and used an ancient primordial spirit method. Golden sound waves vibrated out like the evening drum and morning bell, but also like the roar of an old Buddha. A golden swastika rune appeared. This was an ancient Buddhist essence soul technique called the Great Brahma Heavenly Voice. Once it was used, it seemed to be able to resound through the 3,000 Dharma realms and reverberate in the ears of billions of living beings. This was an extremely terrifying technique. Not only did it have great lethality, but it could also purify all living beings. If it were any other prodigy, they would have a headache facing Di Haotian's move and would be easily annihilated. However, Jun Xiaoyao's Buddha slash was also very terrifying. It was the essence of the 5 Great Sword Tao technique. Boom! Under this attack, the essence souls of Bai Luoxue and the red-haired ghost were directly destroyed. Of course, because of the weakening of the Great Brahma Heavenly Voice, their true bodies were only injured and did not die. Di Haotian was not destroyed. However, he was forced back. His originally illusory body became even fainter and almost transparent. I was actually forced back? Di Haotian himself could not believe it. I didn't expect you to be able to keep your primordial spirit intact after taking one of my attacks. Di Haotian's performance also surprised Jun Xiaoyao. Of course, he did not use his full strength. However, Di Haotian was not in his peak state either. He had just suffered a backlash, and the power of his essence soul was at least weakened by half. From this, it could be seen that Di Haotian was indeed very different from the leaks he had encountered before. However, leaks were ultimately leaks. Even if they were very strong and special, in the end they could only wait to be harvested. Jun Xiaoyao activated the power of the 3 lives essence soul. The reincarnation tribulation of the past essence soul. The Vairocana Dharma idol of the present essence soul. The Permitha soul bridge of the future essence soul. Jun Xiaoyao used the 3 essence soul techniques at the same time. That wave of might was enough to throw heaven and earth into chaos. The entire void sky realm was trembling, becoming unstable because of this type of aura. Your essence soul is the 3 lives essence soul. Di Haotian was surprised. This was definitely an extremely heaven-defying essence soul. It was definitely stronger than his essence soul. And his essence soul was inherited from a powerful figure in the ancient Xian Ting. It could be said to be supreme. If your true body came, it might arouse my interest. But it's only an essence soul body, and it has been weakened. You are not qualified to fight me officially. Jun Xiaoyao's words were indifferent as the 3 essence soul techniques suppressed him. Even someone as strong as Di Haotian was now an arrow at the end of its flight. Because of the little girl's backlash, his essence soul had been weakened. He wanted to resist, but his essence soul still collapsed in the end. However, he was different from others like the Son of Truth and Huang Ye Dao. Di Haotian was not flustered and exasperated. His mentality was still very calm. There's still a long way to go. Jun Xiaoyao, I'll play this game with you. Di Haotian put his hands behind his back, and his essence soul dissipated into a golden rain of light. Seeing Di Haotian disappear, Jun Xiaoyao's face did not show any joy. Di Haotian gave him a strange feeling. He had the confidence to control everything. Also, he seemed to already know about the opportunities in the void heaven world. If Di Haotian was a fateless one, he would have thought that Di Haotian was a fateless one. He really wondered if Di Haotian and he were from the same hometown, and if they were both from Earth. I'll have to take this seriously. Jun Xiaoyao took this matter to heart. He had always been very casual with other enemies, especially those of the same generation. However, Di Haotian was worthy of him being a little more serious. Daddy beat the bad guy away. Daddy is awesome. The little girl beamed, and her face was as red and cute as an apple. I'm not your father. Jun Xiaoyao was a little speechless. Was this how it felt to be a father? You are my father. The little girl pouted, as if she was certain that he was Jun Xiaoyao. She was very obedient, but this matter was not negotiable. Do you have a name? Jun Xiaoyao asked. The little girl shook her head. He looked at her silver hair, which was as brilliant as the Milky Way and as translucent as snow. Jun Xiaoyao suddenly said, How about I call you Evers now? Little Evers now? Evers now? The little girl blinked her big eyes, which were as beautiful as the stars. Daddy, you gave me a nice name. From now on I'll be called Evers now. Little Evers now was very happy and her eyes curved. By the way, Daddy, Evers now can sense the aura of this thing, Little Evers now suddenly said. What thing? Daddy fed it to Little Evers now, Little Evers now said. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. Did Little Evers now sense the true 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root? Chapter 1182. Ever since Little Evers now ate the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root like a snack, Jun Xiaoyao understood. The immortal root he obtained was indeed not the real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. The real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was comparable to the world tree. No matter how mysterious Little Eversnow's background was, she couldn't have eaten the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root directly. Because that energy was too powerful. Even a true emperor wouldn't be able to refine that energy in an instant. You can sense that energy? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Of course. If Daddy wants it, I'll help you find it. Little Evers now smiled brightly when she saw that she could help Jun Xiaoyao. Then I'll have to trouble you. Jun Xiaoyao was in a good mood. The real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was as rare as the world tree. Even a Tharch would be tempted. But that... Little Evers now suddenly lowered her little head and twisted her white, tender fingers. What? That, Evers now, can I ask for a reward? Little Evers now stole a glance at Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. As expected, she still had the temperament of a child. What reward? Daddy, can you give Evers now a kiss? Eversnow's little face was a little red. She didn't know how long she had been in a deep sleep. The first person she saw when she opened her eyes was Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, she felt absolutely close to Jun Xiaoyao and wanted to obtain Jun Xiaoyao's love. Jun Xiaoyao was slightly taken aback, but he didn't mind. He bent down and kissed Little Eversnow's white forehead. Little Evers now was very happy. When she smiled, 2 deep dimples appeared. Jun Xiaoyao sighed inwardly. How long had this little thing been alone? How much did she lack love? But it was good that Little Evers now acknowledged him as her father. If she fell into the hands of Di Haotian, the consequences would be unimaginable. Not to mention whether she could pose a threat to Jun Xiaoyao. At the very least, he could pose a great threat to the people around him. Under Little Eversnow's guidance, Jun Xiaoyao made his way through the chaotic land in the deepest part of the Void Sky realm. His vigorous primordial spirit swept out and avoided some dangers. At this moment, a huge spatial rift that stretched across the sky suddenly appeared in front of them. It faintly reflected a land of chaos. And at the center of the land of chaos, an immortal root took root in the void. There wasn't any dazzling brilliance, nor were there any shocking phenomena of the great Tao. It was a strange 6-petaled flower, and each petal reflected a world. A world in a flower. The 6 paths of samsara. This is the true 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. Jun Xiaoyao took a deep breath. even though they were separated by a crack in the void. He could also feel that incomparably vigorous power. It was indeed incomparable to the false roots from before. Little Evers, now you're the best. Jun Xiaoyao was also in a good mood. He reached out and gently pinched Little Eversnow's chubby and red cheek. Little Evers now chuckled as if she was enjoying Jun Xiaoyao's pampering. However, that place, Jun Xiaoyao noticed that the dark land of chaos was like a black desert. He could vaguely hear the sound of waves crashing against the shore. Could that be the damn world blocking the endless sea? On the other side of the spatial rift. It was actually the damn world that they saw when they came to the void sky world. There were even terrifying quasi-emperor-level creatures that wanted to swim ashore from the realm sea. In the end, they were swept away by a wave. The 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root actually grew in the damn world. No wonder not many people could find it. Even quasi-emperors would not easily go to that kind of place. Jun Xiaoyao was thinking, but his gaze turned resolute. The 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root was very important to him. He had the world tree and could endlessly expand his inner universe. However, it was very difficult to produce outstanding creatures in the inner universe. This was because it lacked the reincarnation structure of life and death. If Jun Xiaoyao could obtain the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root, then his inner universe would undergo a qualitative change. The creatures born in his inner universe could also enter the reincarnation cycle of birth, old age, sickness, and death. This way, to a certain extent, Jun Xiaoyao would become a true god. A god of the inner universe. This was of great significance to his path of cultivation. Hence, even if it was the damn world, Jun Xiaoyao still had to give it a try. However, he only had one chance. If his origin spirit body was destroyed, it would be difficult for him to enter the void sky world again. Unless he really stepped into the damn world from the outside world. However, that kind of danger was undoubtedly many times more dangerous than now. Little Evers, now, wait here for me to return. Jun Xiaoyao put down Little Evers now, not wanting her to be in danger. Even if his origin spirit body was destroyed, his life would not be in danger. However, it was different for Little Evers now. No, Evers now wants to follow Daddy, Little Evers now said softly. Be good. Wait here. Jun Xiaoyao patted Little Eversnow's little head. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's firm tone, Little Evers now could only nod weakly. However, she could also sense that the other side of the spatial rift seemed to be a dangerous place. Jun Xiaoyao did not want her to be in danger. This made Little Eversnow's trust and intimacy towards Jun Xiaoyao even more firm. Leaving Little Evers now behind, Jun Xiaoyao entered the spatial rift alone. Heaven and earth turned upside down. The countless stars in the surroundings seemed to be spinning. In the next instant, Jun Xiaoyao arrived at this chaotic place. This was the damn world. How strange. A single dam is comparable to a vast world. Jun Xiaoyao sized up his surroundings. The ground was littered with the remains of broken stars. All kinds of unknown white bones were buried deep within. It was unknown how many years had passed, but it still emitted a lingering aura of Emperor's might. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have arrived at the end of the world. It was incomparably dark, and there was a faint mist lingering all year round. The sound of waves crashing against the shore came from afar. That was the realm sea. Of course, it was still very far from here, so there was no fatal threat. Jun Xiaoyao directly took out the ancient Chaos Imperial Talisman. There was no other way. In such a place, even if Jun Xiaoyao came with his true body, he would have to be 120% alert. Not to mention that he was only in his primordial spirit body. Swish. In front of him, an aurora-like light swept past. That was a kind of extremely special light of laws. Dong. The ancient Chaos Imperial Talisman trembled. After being attacked, it automatically emitted Emperor's might. It was just a wisp of light, but it made the ancient Chaos Imperial Talisman tremble. Even a Tao master would die if he was careless enough to be hit by the light. One could imagine how dangerous the damn world was. Jun Xiaoyao used his powerful divine soul to sense the surroundings. All kinds of spacetime cracks, strange blood mud, unknown larch bones, and so on were all dodged by Jun Xiaoyao. Even if he could not dodge some, the ancient Chaos Imperial Talisman could resist them. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao came to the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root. He reached out, wanting to pluck it. However, the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root's petals shook, emitting a terrifying power. All things had spirits, let alone such a divine object. It created a pseudo-root, which meant that it did not want other living beings to pluck it. Jun Xiaoyao was not in a hurry. On one hand, he also released his various reincarnation powers and reincarnation laws. On the other hand, he directly released the aura of the World Tree in his inner universe. The World Tree was the ancestor of all trees. Previously, even the celestial immortal tree was attracted by the World Tree and voluntarily threw itself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms. As expected, the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root's resistance weakened. Don't worry, I won't refine you violently. I want you to take root in my inner universe and carry out the cycle of life with the World Tree. This is a win-win situation for both of us, Jun Xiaoyao said. The 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root seemed to understand human language. It did not resist anymore. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and reached out to pluck it. Although refining it directly would bring great benefits to him, he was still unable to do so. However, it would be a waste. Putting it in the inner universe would be more beneficial to Jun Xiaoyao. Okay, everything is over. This trip was perfect. After obtaining the real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root, Jun Xiaoyao finally let out a long sigh of relief. The trip to the Void Sky world should be over. Just as Jun Xiaoyao turned around and was about to leave this place, suddenly, he saw a boundary in front of him from the corner of his eye. There was a faint line of footprints that extended into the distance. That is... Jun Xiaoyao's eyes narrowed. In this damn world, there was a line of footprints that was extremely lonely and extended into the distance. Clearly, it was a humanoid living being. Who left the footprints? Chapter 1183. The damn world had been incomparably mysterious since ancient times. Same as the endless sea, it became a legendary existence. That was also a region that only the strongest could set foot in. And now, in the damn world, Jun Xiaoyao actually saw a line of faint footprints. Very clearly, that belonged to a human race life form. Furthermore, the damn world's laws were also different from the immortal domain. To be able to leave behind footprints here, furthermore, even after tens of thousands of years, it had not been erased. It was enough to see that the life form that left behind the footprints was unimaginably powerful. Could it be that the life form that left behind the footprints is the owner of that drop of perfect sacred blood? Jun Xiaoyao could not help guessing. Of course, this was also just a guess. These great secrets of eternity were still hidden too deeply for Jun Xiaoyao. The clues that Jun Xiaoyao grasped were insufficient. Now Jun Xiaoyao had to face a choice. Leave directly, or follow this line of footprints to find some clues. This line of footprints extended all the way into the depths of the damn world. To say that there was no danger, that was impossible. And Jun Xiaoyao practically did not hesitate, directly following this faint line of footprints and advancing forward. In his dictionary there was no fear, this word. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao was also not that kind of brash person who only had courage. He only did this because he felt that he had confidence. Jun Xiaoyao used the chaotic ancient emperor talisman to protect himself, following the footprints and advancing. The deeper he went, the more he could feel the desolation and danger of the damn world. It was hard to imagine who exactly created this dam. Also, what kind of existence was the Realm Sea? Jun Xiaoyao even had a hole in his brain. Could the Realm Sea be the inner universe of some unimaginable supreme powerhouse? This world had too many great secrets. Even someone as smart as Jun Xiaoyao sometimes felt that he was very slow-witted, like he was bound by an invisible frame. This was also why Jun Xiaoyao wanted to ascend to the supreme peak. He wanted to overlook the eternity of time and space, unravel all the secrets. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was pondering in his heart, suddenly, he actually heard a trace of faint crying sound. At first, Jun Xiaoyao thought it was an illusion. After all, this was the damn world. How could there be cries? It was too sudden. However, in the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao's expression froze. This was not an illusion. He really did hear the sound of crying. That cry was low, hoarse, and dull. It was so much so that one could feel the indescribable pain and despair. What's going on? Is this some kind of soul interference? Jun Xiaoyao immediately became alert. After all, this was the mysterious and dangerous damn world. The sudden sound of crying, if it was anyone else, would feel their hair stand on end. Something was very wrong. Jun Xiaoyao was on high alert, ready to activate the ancient Chaos Imperial Talisman at any moment. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao followed the footprints and saw the scene in the distance. That was the source of the cries. Due to the distance between them, Jun Xiaoyao was only able to see a hazy silhouette. From the back, he looked like an incomparably tall man. His long, grayish-white hair was messily draped over his shoulders. Just from the back, one could tell that this was a very valiant man. But now, in front of him, there was an ice coffin. This man was lying on top of the ice coffin, crying hoarsely. He was like a middle-aged widower who had lost his wife in the mortal world. He was alone and desolate. Jun Xiaoyao was extremely surprised. In this strange damn world, there was no one else. At the end of the faint footprints there was actually such a scene. An incomparably desolate man was lying on top of a coffin, crying. If this was not the damn world, Jun Xiaoyao would really think that he had come to the mortal world. This was too inconceivable. Could that be? Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have thought of something. In a flash, a shocking thought flashed across his mind. Even Jun Xiaoyao's breathing became slightly hurried. He endured the pressure and got closer. And when he got a little closer, only then did he realize. The scene in front of him was not real. There were remnants of the aura of the Tao laws. This is a scene from ancient times that has been left until now. Jun Xiaoyao took a deep breath. Because the laws of heaven and earth in the damn world were different from the immortal realm. As long as a mark could be left, it would be very difficult to disappear. This was a scene that had been imprinted, forming an indelible mark. Until today, the scene still remained and had not disappeared. In other words, the scene in front of Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. It was something that had happened here a long time ago. The reason why Jun Xiaoyao was surprised was that he thought of someone. He thought of a great hero whose name had been left in the history of the immortal realm. Emperor Wu Zhong. Emperor Wu Zhong was once the sacred body of the ancients, and he had cultivated it to the level of greater success. He and the Jade Lake Queen Mother of the West were the Tao couple that everyone in the Nine Heavens immortal realm envied. Then, a terrifying turmoil broke out in the immortal realm. Emperor Wu Zhong wanted to go to the Nine Heavens to quell the chaos. The Queen Mother of the West refused. She wanted to go with him and die together. After that, Emperor Wu Zhong compromised and said that he would go into seclusion with the Queen Mother of the West. After breaking through, he would go up to the Nine Heavens. In the end, Emperor Wu Zhong lied to the Queen Mother of the West. After leaving behind the words of not letting down the people and not letting down her, he went up to the Nine Heavens alone. But then, a broken body fell from the Nine Heavens. The Queen Mother of the West's hair turned white. For love, she defied the heavens and sacrificed herself. With the 12 apertures of the immortal heart, she seized life from the heavens. She forcefully saved Emperor Wu Zhong. From then on, there was one less pair of lovers in the world. But there was an additional Tao embryo of the innate sacred body. Emperor Wu Zhong sealed the Queen Mother of the West in a 10,000-year-old ice coffin. He carried the coffin up to the 9 heavens and quelled the turmoil of a generation. It was said that after that, the 9 heavens forbidden zone suffered heavy losses. For several eras they did not make any moves. This was something that all living beings in the immortal realm knew. They also regarded Emperor Wu Zhong as the hero who saved the immortal realm. As for Emperor Wu Zhong, he carried the coffin and left in the end. No one knew where he went. A hero of a generation saved all living beings in the immortal realm. In the end, he was alone and had no place to speak. Now, if there were no accidents, the image that Jun Xiaoyao saw in front of him, it was the former Emperor Wu Zhong. This was a little out of Jun Xiaoyao's expectations. In the eyes of the world, Emperor Wu Zhong was a hero, a godlike existence. He had great love and universal love. He saved billions of living beings and completed the mission of the sacred body lineage. But now, what appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao's eyes? It wasn't that tall and mighty, godlike hero. It was a down-and-out man lying on an ice coffin, crying hoarsely. Could emperors cry too? Jun Xiaoyao was dazed for a moment. It could be said that those who could cultivate to the level of emperors were at least complete Tao hearts, even if they were not emotionless. Any emotion could be easily controlled. This was because they had seen through many illusions in the world and pointed directly at the truth. All the 7 emotions and 6 desires could be sensed by emperor-level figures, but they could also be easily isolated or even abandoned. This was also why some supreme existences sleeping in the 9 heavens forbidden zone would cause endless disasters and turmoil. Because to them, they had long abandoned all kinds of feelings as living beings. All that was left was the coldness of pursuing longevity and becoming an immortal. Jun Xiaoyao was looking at an emperor who was weeping in grief at the moment. This was a great emperor. Not to mention that Emperor Wu Zhong had the connate sacred body Tao embryo. His true strength was definitely not as simple as that of a great emperor. The so-called endless great emperor was just a title. It didn't mean that his cultivation was limited to the great emperor level. But now this was a supreme expert who was ranked in the ancient history of the immortal realm. But he was crying like a child. This contrast made people speechless. Jun Xiaoyao saw again. On the side there was a stone-shaped stone. There were 2 lines of words written with blood on it. There is no return. Life and death are boundless. Chapter 1184. Jun Xiaoyao finally understood where the great Emperor Wuji had gone after the chaos ended. He carried the ice coffin with the Queen Mother of the West on his back, came to the dam, and walked towards the realm sea. But why? Jun Xiaoyao was puzzled. Emperor No End took the body of the Queen Mother of the West to the realm sea. Could it be that there was a way to resurrect people in the realm sea? Jun Xiaoyao thought that it should not exist. If martial monarch Wuji had really found it, there was no way he would not have shown himself until now. Especially if the Queen Mother of the West was really resurrected by Emperor No End. Then she would definitely return to the Jade Lake sacred ground to take a look, instead of letting the Jade Lake sacred ground decline. Therefore, Emperor No End had most likely failed. Looking at the 2 lines of poetry on the stone tablet, Jun Xiaoyao could not help but sigh slightly. Emperor No End was definitely the most special one among all the emperors. When one cultivated to the emperor level, one's Tao heart was harmonious. Even if one's loved ones died in front of them, it would not cause too much emotional fluctuation. And Emperor No End, even if he cultivated to the highest level, still maintained his true nature and had a sincere heart. She was crying for her lover. There is no return date, life and death are boundless. Jun Xiaoyao read the handwriting on the stone. At this moment, he was suddenly touched. A hint of pondering flashed in his eyes. Then, he cupped his hands slightly to Emperor No End. He reached his hand under the stone. The soil under the stone-shaped stone was also extremely solid. After all, the rules of the Dam world were different from those of the immortal realm. It was very difficult to cause great damage here without the strength of a Tao master or above. Jun Xiaoyao also released the aura of his quasi-connate sacred body Tao embryo. The soil finally broke open. A corner of scripture appeared. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up and he picked it up. It was a dazzling golden scroll. It looked like it was made of gold but not gold, wood but not wood. Jun Xiaoyao opened it to take a look. The densely packed ancient characters carried an unprecedented sense of profoundness. Runes of the great Tao flowed, emitting a supreme Tao. Every word seemed to be made of metal, and they were as dazzling as the stars in the sky. Most people would go blind if they saw it. This was not a scripture that ordinary people could read. However, Jun Xiaoyao was different. He activated the aura of the Tao embryo of the quasi-connate sacred being and covered his eyes with the qi and blood of the sacred being. He finally saw the words clearly. Endless Imperial Sutra. Jun Xiaoyao recognized the scripture. This was the true scripture of a great emperor. It was the void-end emperor's technique. There were also many divine abilities, cultivation techniques, array formations, Tao patterns, and Tao insights left behind by the endless heavenly monarch. More importantly, there was a cultivation method for the innate saint being's Taoist embryo. This was the most precious thing to Jun Xiaoyao. It was a priceless treasure. This was because Jun Xiaoyao had only fused with the quasi-innate sacred being Tao embryo when he had accidentally obtained the origin source of the Tao. As for how to become a true innate sacred being, Jun Xiaoyao really had no clue. At this time, the Endless Imperial Sutra of the Endless Imperial Emperor appeared extremely precious. This is too precious. The value of the Endless Imperial Sutra is not inferior to the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route. To ordinary people, the Endless Imperial Sutra is an absolute treasure. But to me, it's a priceless treasure. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes shone brightly. This was definitely a pleasant surprise. Perhaps even the Grand Elder, who invited him to the Void Sky world, would not have thought that Jun Xiaoyao could actually obtain such a thing. And why would the Endless Imperial Sutra be here? The reason was obvious. Before going to the Realm Sea, the Endless Imperial Emperor was afraid that he would not be able to return. Although he had the famous innate sacred being's Taoist embryo, the Endless Sea was also an absolute forbidden area since ancient times. Even the Endless Imperial Emperor was not confident that he could return safely from the Realm Sea. Therefore, before he left behind the essence of his life's comprehension, which was the Endless Imperial Sutra, waiting for the fated person. And in this world, who was more qualified than Jun Xiaoyao to obtain the Endless Imperial Sutra? Jun Xiaoyao put it away as if he had obtained a treasure. The complexity of the Endless Imperial Sutra was definitely not inferior to the Immortal Sutra. It required a long time to comprehend, and was not something that could be comprehended overnight. At this time, Jun Xiaoyao discovered that there was actually a page of paper in the pit where the Endless Imperial Sutra was buried. Jun Xiaoyao picked it up and took a look. There was only one line of words on it. Mars appears, the forgotten land, desolation. Jun Xiaoyao read the line of words on it and felt very confused. Mars was the name of the star. The forgotten land should be a place. And what was desolation? The Endless Imperial Emperor's cultivation is very profound. It's impossible for him to leave these words for no reason. This should be a clue, Jun Xiaoyao thought. Even though the Endless Imperial Emperor's life was bleak, he truly cared about the world. Otherwise, there was no way he would have slaughtered his way into the 9 heavens before reaching the great success sacred body. After quelling the chaos, even though the Endless Imperial Emperor was disheartened, he carried the coffin into the distance. However, he should still be worried about the chaos that followed. Meanwhile, the one who could obtain the Endless Imperial Sutra was definitely a fated person. It might very well be a sacred body or an innate sacred body Tao core. The reason the endless imperial emperor left behind these words was to remind his successor. Jun Xiaoyao didn't have any clues for now, but he still remembered this clue in his heart. This time, Jun Xiaoyao's harvest could be considered to be great. Flawless sacred body blood, 6 Tao reincarnations, immortal root, endless imperial sutra. There was also the cheap little lowly Evers now of unknown origins. It could be said that Immortal Academy's great elder really didn't lie to him. These things, not even the Jun family could bring out. They were too precious, something that could only be obtained through luck and opportunity. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao gave the man who was lying on the ice coffin a crying look. His gray hair was messy and bleak, his beard unkempt. If one didn't know better, no one would think that this was the endless imperial emperor whose name shook the endless ages. Jun Xiaoyao released a sigh. Even though Immortal Domain didn't lack despicable people, for example, some Archean royalty. However, there was no lack of true heroes. For example, Endless Imperial Emperor, Ancient Chaos Imperial Emperor, and his father, white-clothed Divine King Jun Wuhui, and others. These people were truly worthy of respect, worthy of remembering. Jun Xiaoyao solemnly clasped his hands at Wuji Emperor as a sign of respect. He obtained Endless Imperial Emperor's Endless Imperial Sutra, so he could be considered his successor. Endless Imperial Emperor's scene still didn't change. This was just an imprint left behind from the ancient times, something that continued until now. Jun Xiaoyao gave it one last look, and then turned around to leave. However, what not even Jun Xiaoyao knew was, right after he left this place, Endless Imperial Emperor who was lying on the ice coffin and crying seemed to have sensed something, slightly turning his head. There is reincarnation in this world, no beginning and no end. Everything is predestined, a hoarse and low voice sounded from Endless Imperial Emperor's mouth. If Jun Xiaoyao could sense it, he would definitely be incomparably shocked. The Endless Imperial Emperor in front of him was nothing more than a Tao law and imprint left behind from the ancient times. It was impossible for him to have consciousness, let alone sense his existence, open his mouth to speak. However, everything was just this miraculous. Chapter 1185. After so many days, the trial in the Void Sky world finally came to an end. Many geniuses came out of the Void Sky world one after another. Because they couldn't go any deeper. Not everyone could reach the deepest part of the Void Sky world like Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao. Of course, there were also some geniuses who obtained enough opportunities to satisfy themselves. They didn't want any more accidents, so they took the initiative to come out. Huang Niedao, Gu Tizi, Ling Yan. There were also people on Jun Xiaoyao's side, his followers, the experts of the Jun family, and Jiang Luoli. They all woke up. And as soon as they woke up, they talked about some things. I didn't expect the mysterious Grey Clan to show up. And the geniuses of the forbidden families in the 9 heavens. Is the storm in this world going to happen again? Why do I have a bad feeling? The storm in the outer realm has just calmed down. Is the immortal realm going to welcome a new storm? After waking up, many geniuses of the Immortal Academy were talking. After all, no one expected the Grey Clan and the forbidden families to appear in the Void Sky world. Third Elder Su Mo's expression turned grave when he heard the news. The Grey Clan and the forbidden families of the 9 heavens appeared at this critical moment. Actually, it wasn't a good thing. Hey, that person, could it be? Some geniuses who didn't meet Di Haotian in the Void Sky world were shocked when they saw the peerless man who was sitting cross-legged and surrounded by brilliant light. This is the ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting, Di Haotian. He came here alone later. He's Di Haotian? Many geniuses were surprised. Huang Niedao's face was cold. His primordial spirit was destroyed by Jun Xiaoyao, and he came out of the Void Sky world. He looked at Di Haotian and hoped that Di Haotian could expel Jun Xiaoyao. He's Di Haotian. Jiang Luoli's little face was very serious. Jun Xiaoyao's enemy was her enemy. His aura is indeed not weak. Jun Bieli and the other geniuses of the Jun family also had serious looks in their eyes. Di Haotian was undoubtedly a terrifying monster. Otherwise, Xian Ting wouldn't think so highly of him. In fact, in his previous life, he was absolutely qualified to attain Dao and become the true leader of Xian Ting. However, Di Haotian refused. This was because he wanted to shine with his own brilliance in this most glorious era since ancient times. Just as everyone was paying attention to Di Haotian, a voice suddenly rang out. Suddenly, Bai Luoxue, crimson-haired ghost, and the others woke up, and they spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time. Their eyes were filled with panic and fear. That sword is too terrifying. Bai Luoxue's beautiful face was extremely pale, and she still had lingering fears. Even the arrogant crimson-haired ghost was trembling at this moment, and his chin was dripping with blood. He thought that Di Haotian was strong enough to subdue him with one palm. Who would have thought that in this era, there would be such a terrifying genius who could stand shoulder to shoulder with Di Haotian? Hey, they've also woken up. Could it be that they were beaten out by the son of God of the Jun family? Everyone knew about the friction between the 18 steeds of Yenyun and Jun Xiaoyao. Doesn't this mean that Di Haotian has already met Jun Xiaoyao? Many people had strange looks in their eyes. If the two of them really clashed, it would make everyone curious. However, not long after, Di Haotian's body shook and he slowly woke up. Everyone was shocked to see this scene. Di Haotian had woken up so quickly. Most importantly, Jun Xiaoyao hadn't woken up yet. Could it be everyone had an idea in their minds? Di Haotian had lost. He was at a disadvantage in the fight with Jun Xiaoyao and his primordial spirit was destroyed. Of course, although the geniuses thought so, they didn't dare to say it out loud. If they said it out loud, it would be a provocation to Di Haotian. Young King, Bai Luoxue, crimson-haired ghost, and the others were also stunned. Could it be that their lord had really lost? Di Haotian didn't say anything. He just looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a dim light in his eyes. I've indeed underestimated him. Di Haotian's words made everyone present fall into silent shock. Other things aside, at the very least, Jun Xiaoyao had the upper hand in their first clash. My brother Xiaoyao is indeed a god. Jiang Luoli smiled brightly, revealing 2 dimples. So what if the Xian Ting young king was the ancient Xian Ting? Didn't he lose to Jun Xiaoyao? How is this possible? Huang Niedao, the son of truth, and the others couldn't believe it. Even Di Haotian couldn't deal with Jun Xiaoyao? Another period of time passed. Almost all the geniuses of the Void Sky world came out. In the end, only Jun Xiaoyao was left. At a certain moment, Jun Xiaoyao's entire body was enveloped in brilliant divine light. He began to return and awaken. The Son of God has come out. Everyone's gazes converged on him. Jun Xiaoyao stayed in the Void Sky world the longest. Many people guessed that Jun Xiaoyao should have reached the deepest part of the Void Sky world and obtained a great opportunity. The light dissipated and Jun Xiaoyao's figure appeared. What was different from before was that there was now a little girl with silver hair beside him. She was delicate and cute like a doll. The disciples of the Immortal Academy were speechless. Third Elder Suemo was also surprised. He looked at the little girl and suddenly, he felt an inexplicable palpitation. He hurriedly withdrew his gaze and stopped looking. What exactly did Jun Xiaoyao bring out from the Void Sky world? Elder Suemo was also extremely surprised. Big brother Xiaoyao, Jiang Loli looked at little Evers now and was also surprised. Daddy, there are so many people here. Little Evers now was a little shy and shrank beside Jun Xiaoyao's leg. Everyone was stunned. All the disciples of the Immortal Academy looked as if they had seen a ghost. Jun Xiaoyao went into the Void Sky world and became a father? Jiang Luoli's delicate body trembled as if she had been struck by lightning. When did Jun Xiaoyao become a father? She still wanted to give birth to Jun Xiaoyao's precious daughter. It's a long story. Jun Xiaoyao didn't plan to explain. because even he didn't know little Eversnow's origin for the time being. The prodigies present also came back to their senses. They knew that this little girl's origin was not simple. She might be one of the fortuitous opportunities in the void sky world. Since Jun Xiaoyao didn't explain, they naturally didn't ask too much. Some of the female disciples also breathed a sigh of relief. Jun Xiaoyao was the white moonlight in many women's hearts. If he really became a father, who knew how many women would be heartbroken? Jiang Luoli also understood. Her eyes curved as she looked at little Evers now. She had to admit that this snow-white little girl was too cute and very likable. Even Jiang Luoli's maternal instincts overflowed. She really wanted to go up and pinch her little cheeks. However, little Evers now was a little shy. She hugged Jun Xiaoyao's leg tightly. Looks like the Son of God has gained a lot this time. Elder Suemo smiled slightly, and his heart also calmed down. After all, this trip to the Void Sky world was to curry favor with Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, should have gained quite a lot. At this moment, on the other side, Di Haotian stepped forward. For a moment, the atmosphere froze. Everyone on the scene immediately understood the situation. In the process of fighting for the fortuitous opportunity, Di Haotian should have lost to Jun Xiaoyao. Although they didn't know the specific situation. Now, they had all come out of the Void Sky world. Would Di Haotian be willing to let Jun Xiaoyao get the fortuitous opportunity? Are we going to witness the battle between Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao today? Everyone was on high alert. This was not just a battle between two supreme prodigies. It was also a battle between two colossal forces behind them, the Xian Ting and the Jun family. Chapter 1186. On the Xian Ting side, Gu Tizi looked like he was watching a show. Previously, he had thought of all kinds of ways to deal with Jun Xiaoyao on the ancient final road and the divine ruins. In the end, he failed one by one. Instead, he was screwed over by Jun Xiaoyao. Now, with Di Haotian taking action, Gu Tizi didn't believe that Jun Xiaoyao could still be so calm. As for Ling Yan, her expression was very complicated. When Di Haotian was born, he was called the young emperor. Then what was she, the current generation's young emperor, considered? Ling Yan was very strong, and she was also a genius nurtured by Empress Hua's core. However, her appeal in the Xian Ting was inferior to Di Haotian's. What's more, she was a woman. She lacked some of Di Haotian's domineering authority. At this moment, Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao were confronting each other. Her identity was awkward, and she was sandwiched in the middle. It was indeed very uncomfortable. Jun Xiaoyao, I have to say that you have exceeded my expectations. Even though Jun Xiaoyao had seized the opportunity, Di Haotian's expression was still indifferent. He knew too many opportunities, and the Void Sky realm was only a small part of them. Di Haotian, you don't have the right to put on airs in front of me. Jun Xiaoyao was also indifferent. Although this Di Haotian was slightly different from some of his previous opponents. He was a bit stronger and a bit more special. However, Jun Xiaoyao had the belief of being invincible and didn't fear Di Haotian. Moreover, he had gained a lot this time. When he returned to the Immortal Academy to cultivate in seclusion, his strength would definitely soar again. At that time, he wanted to see if Di Haotian had the ability to catch up to him. Am I not qualified? Di Haotian didn't think much of it. Then, he suddenly attacked and slapped out a palm. In an instant, a dragon's roar shook the sky. 81 heavenly dragons roared and rushed out. Each of the heavenly dragons looked as if they were made of metal and were tens of thousands of feet long. With a casual flick of its tail, it could shatter a star. That's the dragon race's supreme technique. A few Immortal Academy disciples cried out in alarm, recognizing him. That was a supreme technique of the dragon clan long ago, but it was lost later on. Who would have thought that it would reappear in Di Haotian's hands? However, when he thought about how Di Haotian was not from this era, it was understandable that he could use such a technique. Jun Xiaoyao also casually shook his hand, and primal chaos energy filled the air. The great primal chaos handprint pressed down and collided with the 81 heavenly dragons. Chaotic qi and dragon qi erupted, shocking the world. Jun Xiaoyao was also slightly surprised. This Di Haotian was indeed something. Previously, in the Void Heaven world, Xiao Chen executed the Buddhist sect's Brahma heavenly voice. Now, he also displayed the dragon race's technique. He felt like this Di Haotian seemed to have learned all of the myriad Dao's technique. The primal chaos handprint was like the hand of a deity, capturing the heavenly dragons. Just the power of the collision alone made many Immortal Academy disciples here feel apprehensive. Was this really someone in the same age group as them? Alright, both of you should stop. Suemo couldn't watch any longer and came out to stop them. In reality, he also felt terrible. It was because he couldn't afford to offend either of these two, so he felt terrible no matter which side he sided with. Jun Xiaoyao stopped, and Di Haotian also did the same. Elder Suemo said sincerely, "Now you all have also seen it. In the Void Heaven world, Heaven Clan and the 9 Heavens taboo families have appeared one after another. In the future, Immortal Domain will not be peaceful either. You all are the pillars of Immortal Domain, so you shouldn't have internal strife." "I don't mind," Jun Xiaoyao said casually. Di Haotian gave Jun Xiaoyao a deep look. He felt that the real 6 paths of reincarnation immortal route should have fallen into Jun Xiaoyao's hands. Di Haotian was also very curious about Evers now. Fine, what's mine will be mine in the end. Di Haotian also felt relieved. He had the confidence that what he lost in the future would eventually return to him. Then, Di Haotian turned to look at Ling Yan. Of these two, one was the current young emperor, and the other was the ancient young emperor. The atmosphere immediately became subtle. Di Haotian said indifferently, "Ling Yan, as the current young emperor of Xianting, what you should know the most is propriety. My follower may have acted improperly, but flies don't bite seamless eggs. I hope that in the future, you will know what boundaries and propriety are." These words were full of lecturing. In other words, the relationship between Ling Yan and Jun Xiaoyao was a little vague, which was inconsistent with her background. Even Ling Yan's cold and beautiful face changed slightly. Di Haotian was indeed the ancient young emperor, but he didn't seem to have the right to criticize her in such a high and mighty tone. After all, she was the current young emperor. But now she was like a child being lectured by an adult. Di Haotian didn't pay attention to Ling Yan's somewhat ugly expression, because he knew that Ling Yan would play an extremely important role in the future. It was related to an important person in the ancient Xianting. Therefore, Ling Yan absolutely couldn't have anything to do with Jun Xiaoyao. Otherwise, it would also affect his plan. At this time, Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward. "I killed your people. If you want to target someone, you should target me." Is internal strife a tradition of the Xianting? Jun Xiaoyao's words surprised many people present. They looked at Jun Xiaoyao and then looked at Ling Yan. Was he protecting his wife? Previously, their relationship was only vague. But at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward to speak, which was full of protectiveness. The son of God of the Jun family was protecting the Xianting young emperor. It was hard not to let people's imagination run wild. Even Ling Yan didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to be so straightforward and speak up for her. This made Ling Yan's heart surge with indescribable complexity and joy. She was happy that Jun Xiaoyao was protecting her. What was complicated was that Jun Xiaoyao's actions undoubtedly deepened the conflict between her and Di Haotian. She didn't know that this was Jun Xiaoyao's real purpose. However, he didn't want to stir up conflict between Ling Yan and Di Haotian. Instead, he wanted to stir up conflict between the immortal lineage of Empress Hua and the immortal lineage of Fuxi. These two immortal lineages were now the most prestigious in the Xianting. If these two immortal lineages were to split, it would undoubtedly be a fatal blow to the Xianting. This Jun Xiaoyao, as expected, Di Haotian also had a strange look in his eyes. He noticed that Jun Xiaoyao wasn't just a genius with monstrous talent. Even his shrewdness and scheming were so deep. It was obvious that he wanted to sow discord between him and Ling Yan, although they didn't have much to do with each other. This is our Xian Ting's business. Outsiders shouldn't interfere. Jun Xiaoyao, I'll remember you. I look forward to meeting you officially. As soon as Di Haotian's voice fell, his body turned into a golden rain of light. This is a Dharma body? When they saw this scene, all the disciples of the Immortal Academy were stunned and exclaimed. Just now, when Di Haotian and Jun Xiaoyao exchanged blows, 80% of the heavenly talents present couldn't withstand the power. In the end, it was just a Dharma body. Di Haotian's true body hadn't come out of seclusion yet. Many disciples of the Immortal Academy fell silent. Their Tao hearts were shocked. Just now, not many people present could block Di Haotian's Dragon Clan technique. They couldn't even beat Di Haotian's Dharma body. Of course, there were also some people who were disdainful. They were all on Jun Xiaoyao's side. Showing off with a Dharma body. Do you really think everyone is Lord Son of God? Back then, Lord Son of God's Dharma body was enough to compete with the tyrant body. A heavenly talent mentioned such an old incident. In the crowd, Long Yao Er's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot. Was this a pot that didn't boil? He was exposing her shortcomings. This was her dark history, a past that she couldn't bear to look back on, a nightmarish existence. As for Jun Xiaoyao, his expression was calm from the beginning to the end. He knew long ago. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that Di Haotian wasn't qualified to fight with him in the Void Sky world. Di Haotian, I'm also looking forward to meeting you officially. Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly. It was rare to meet someone who could arouse his interest. Chapter 1187. The trip to the Void Sky realm came to an end. All the disciples of the Immortal Academy didn't expect that so many things would happen in just a place of good fortune. The mysterious ancient young emperor of Xian Ting appeared. Under the water surface, the ancient Grey clan appeared. There were also the forbidden families above the 9 heavens. After this trip, many geniuses were reporting to the forces and families behind them. They could foresee that a great storm no less than the invasion of the foreign realm was about to sweep over. Of course, many geniuses also gained something from this trip. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had gained so much that he even became a father. Everyone, including Third Elder Suemo, was very curious about little Evers now. However, this girl had always stuck to Jun Xiaoyao and didn't come into contact with anyone else at all. Even Jiang Luoli felt a little jealous. She and Jun Xiaoyao weren't that close yet. Of course, she also liked little Evers now very much. Next, everyone began to return to the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy. Jun Xiaoyao's gains from this trip weren't just some opportunities. He also obtained some clues. However, there were still some things that needed to be investigated. For example, which sacred body did that drop of flawless sacred blood come from? Jun Xiaoyao believed that drop of blood shouldn't be the blood of No-End Heavenly Emperor. No-End Heavenly Emperor later transformed into an innate sacred body of Tao, which was no longer a pure sacred body of the ancients. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao had to return to the Huangtian Immortal Realm later to ask Guardian Wu. As the last sacred body of the sacred palace of the ancients, Guardian Wu should know some clues. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao was also very curious about the whereabouts of No-End Heavenly Emperor. After he went to the Realm Sea, what was the result? Was he still alive? Why was there no news of him until now? The mysteries in Jun Xiaoyao's heart increased again. Just as Jun Xiaoyao and the others returned to the Immortal Academy. In a mysterious place shrouded in mist. This place was not the laws of heaven and earth of the immortal realm, but another space. Like the foreign realm, the desolate border, the realm sea, and other places, it was not bound by the laws of the immortal realm. In another area, a group of people stood up. Yukoan and the others are all dead. I didn't expect the son of God of the June family from the immortal realm to be so ruthless and decisive. The people of the Yu clan cannot die in vain. So what if he is the son of God of the June family? We are backed by the immortal mausoleum, one of the 10 great forbidden areas. We stand above the 9 heavens. Even the clan of the ancients of the mystic region has no right to touch our people. There's also that young girl from the Jiang clan. She has obtained the inheritance of the immortal mausoleum. We've already sent a message to young Master Yugan. He should be going. After all, Yu Kuan is his younger brother. If it wasn't for the endless killing formation left behind by the endless heavenly emperor, the Forbidden Land would have been able to descend long ago. However, the time is fast approaching. Before that, let us, the clans, attack first. Meanwhile, in another region, there was also a group of people conversing. They were from the Forbidden Clan above the 9 heavens, the Jin clan. They were backed by the Sacred Spirit Ruins, one of the 10 great forbidden areas. They once had a grudge with the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. I didn't expect the successor of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor to be the son of God of the June family. This is going to be a bit troublesome. The ancient Chaos Great Emperor and the Forbidden Clan behind our clan, the Sacred Spirit Ruins. The grudge between them is too great. It's completely impossible to resolve. However, a great figure in the Sacred Spirit Ruins has spoken. Everything related to the ancient Chaos Great Emperor must be eliminated. It seems like it's time to make a trip to the Mystic region. In another region, there was another group of people. Among them was a young woman in her late 20s. Her face was beautiful and delicate. She was the woman from the Ji clan who had questioned Ji Qingyi in the Void Sky realm, Ji Yingying. The Ji clan was also a forbidden clan above the 9 heavens. Their eldest son, Ji Daoi, was once the successor of the human immortal sect. Later on, he died in the world of the divine ruins. Ji Yingying wanted to investigate the true cause of Ji Daoi's death. However, Ji Qingyi insisted that Ji Daoi was killed by a sneak attack from a foreign creature. However, Ji Yingying believed that, if Ji Daoi hadn't been injured, the foreign creature definitely wouldn't have been able to kill him. As such, Jun Xiaoyao was naturally the source of the conflict. If he hadn't seriously injured Ji Daoi wouldn't have been attacked by the foreign creature and died. Are we really going to go against Jun Xiaoyao? A member of the Ji clan asked hesitantly. Brother Daoi can't die in vain, Ji Yingying said through gritted teeth. Indeed, those cowards from the human immortal sect don't dare to go against Jun Xiaoyao. However, we, the Ji clan, must seek justice. There were also members of the Ji clan who supported Ji Yingying's decision. The Forbidden Clan was located above the 9 heavens and had the Forbidden Clan behind them. In fact, they didn't need to be too afraid of the Jun clan. Also, don't forget that the Jun clan has been cursed by the curse of misfortune. They might not even be able to take care of themselves. That's right. If it weren't for the endless killing array, the supreme existence in the Forbidden Clan would have already appeared. By then, the Jun clan would be just like that. However, I heard that some of the young primes in the Forbidden Clan, the Immortal Emperor's son, seemed to be about to appear. What the creatures of the immortal domain didn't know was, back then, the endless heavenly emperor slaughtered his way into the 9 heavens. After quelling the chaos, he left behind the endless killing array. This was a true supreme emperor's formation. It was used to restrict the 9 heavens Forbidden Clan, forming a barrier with the immortal domain. It was also precisely because of this that there was a period of peace later on. However, as time passed, the endless killing array's effects were also weakening. In addition, some great figures in the Forbidden Clan took action, so the effects of this formation diagram were gradually diminishing. Therefore, when the endless killing array was completely destroyed, that was when the chaos would completely erupt. And now, the endless killing array's effects were actually much worse than before. That was why those forbidden clans above the 9 heavens had the ability to go to the immortal domain. Yu clan, Ji clan, Jin clan. The 3 great forbidden clans above the 9 heavens were going to head to the immortal domain together to deal with Jun Xiaoyao. If this matter were to erupt, it would attract the attention of the entire immortal domain. However, right now, Jun Xiaoyao didn't know that these forbidden clans wanted to stir up trouble. Even if he knew, he wouldn't feel anything. After more than 10 days, they also returned to Immortal Academy. The 18 steeds of Yan Yun were much more well-behaved and didn't appear in front of Jun Xiaoyao again. Bai Luoxue and the red-haired ghost even left Immortal Academy. When they thought of Jun Xiaoyao's sword, they felt lingering fear. If it wasn't for Di Haotian helping to block it, they might really have died. The Son of Truth and Huang Ye Dao also didn't find trouble with Jun Xiaoyao anymore. Didn't they see that even Di Haotian couldn't take advantage of Jun Xiaoyao? Next, Jun Xiaoyao prepared to go into seclusion for a while. He wanted to digest the opportunities he obtained in the Void Sky world. As for little Evers now, although she was very clingy to Jun Xiaoyao, she was also very sensible. Knowing that Jun Xiaoyao had serious matters to attend to, she didn't disturb him. Fortunately, Jiang Luoli and little Evers now got along well. The entire Immortal Academy fell into silence again. Little did they know, the incident of the Forbidden Clans descending to the lower realm was soon going to happen in the Immortal Academy. Meanwhile, in the mixed sky immortal realm of the 9 heavens, inside an ancient starry realm, Di Haotian was sitting in a golden palace with an expressionless face. Previously, only a wisp of his clone had gone to the Void Sky world. His true self was still sitting in the palace, merging with the aura of the era. Jun Xiaoyao, you have indeed exceeded my expectations. But then again, the plan still needs to be pushed forward. No one can stop me from dominating the world, not even Jun Xiaoyao. I am the ruler of this world. Chapter 1188. Di Haotian was a proud person. Even if he hadn't been reborn, he was still the proud young emperor of the Xian Ting. Not to mention now that he had the memories of a lifetime. Di Haotian didn't think that he would lose. It was even more impossible for him to lose to a current prodigy. The loss in the virtual sky world was just a small interlude to Di Haotian. It wouldn't affect his plan or the overall situation. What's really important is this. Di Haotian took out the fragment of the celestial stone plate. It was this fragment that had brought him back to the beginning of the Golden Age. However, the whereabouts of the other 3 fragments were unknown. Ancient history, the secret to becoming an immortal, and the chaos. I have to find the remaining 3 fragments, because this might be the greatest opportunity in the beginning of the Golden Age. Di Haotian's silver eyes shone with divine light. He knew things that others didn't, so he could seize the opportunity and advance step by step. Bai Luoxue, Di Haotian said. Young Emperor. A beautiful woman in a white dress with an ethereal aura appeared. It was Bai Luoxue. I need to find the remaining 3 fragments of this ancient artifact and activate the power of the Xian Ting. Di Haotian said as he held the fragment of the celestial stone plate. Yes, young Emperor. Bai Luoxue took a deep look at the fragment of the celestial stone plate. She was very smart and didn't ask what it was or what it could do to Di Haotian. Sometimes, as a subordinate, she just had to do as she was told. This was the only way to be valued. As the think tank of the 18 horsemen of Yenyun, Bai Luoxue naturally understood this simple principle. By the way, don't make a big fuss. I don't want others to know, Di Haotian said. I understand. Bai Luoxue nodded. Luoxue, you're very smart, so I'm not worried about leaving this matter to you. Di Haotian smiled faintly. It's my honor to be recognized by Sir Young Emperor. Joy appeared in Bai Luoxue's eyes. Go ahead. Di Haotian waved his hand. Bai Luoxue withdrew. Di Haotian pondered for a moment. In the Void Sky world, the Grey Clan and the Forbidden Clan appeared one after another. If I'm not mistaken, It's time for the Forbidden Clan to reveal themselves. They are the vanguard of the life forbidden zone. Jun Xiaoyao used to have the sacred body of the ancients. Logically speaking, he should be the natural enemy of the forbidden zone. Furthermore, there's also news that he's the successor of ancient chaos. There should be some grudges between him and that forbidden area. Since that's the case, Di Haotian had another idea. He suddenly spoke. Purple Flame Heaven Monarch. Outside the Golden Palace, a fiery light flashed past. A purple-robed, purple-haired man appeared. The man's figure was robust, and his entire body was enveloped in a ball of purple divine flames. His eyes looked as if they were about to spit out flames. His aura was extremely powerful. Just by standing there, he was like a dazzling purple sun. "What's the matter, young king?" He was different from the other knights of the 18 steeds of Yenyun. Purple Flame Heaven Monarch didn't bow to Di Haotian. Instead, there was a hint of challenge in his eyes. "Purple Flame Heaven Monarch, after so long, your personality still hasn't changed." Di Haotian didn't mind. Purple Flame Heaven Monarch ranked third among the 18 steeds of Yenyun. He used to be one of his challengers. It was said that Purple Flame Heaven Monarch had no parent. He was a creature born from a purple sun and was born to control all kinds of fire. In that era, Purple Flame Heaven Monarch was an absolute dark horse. He rose to prominence and defeated countless talents of the imperishable forces. In the end, he met Di Haotian and was defeated by him. He was willing to become a follower. Therefore, his temperament was different from the other followers. He wasn't too humble. "Young king, it's been a long time since I last sparred with you. My hands are indeed itching," Purple Flame Heaven Monarch said. "Don't worry. If you do this well, I'll give you a chance to practice," Di Haotian said. "What's the matter?" "Go and investigate secretly. Report to me any news about the Forbidden Clan. I'll need to contact them if necessary," Di Haotian said. "All right." Purple Flame Heaven Monarch nodded and turned into a ball of fire and left. "Next, it's up to the Forbidden Clan. But no matter what, Jun Xiaoyao, you can't beat me. Sooner or later, you'll ask me to take you in as a follower." Di Haotian smiled. "Oh right, I almost forgot. Go to the Huangtian Mystic Realm and contact the Little Demon Empress. Her background is not ordinary." Di Haotian wanted to call her, but he shook his head in the end. "Forget it. I'll go there personally to show my sincerity." With that, dermic powers intertwined in front of Di Haotian and rays of light surged. A Dharma body appeared again. His aura hadn't merged with the aura of this era yet, so it was inconvenient for him to go out. After Di Haotian's Dharma body left, his Dharma body was still sitting in the Golden Palace with his legs crossed. "Step by step, my plan is perfect. Now, all we have to do is wait for that place to open. That place is extremely important to the Xian Ting. It's related to the unification and integration of the Xian Ting. We can't afford to make any mistakes." Di Haotian's eyes glittered. Everything, including the key points in history, was in his memory. How could Jun Xiaoyao fight him? Di Haotian's plan didn't startle anyone. The Nine Heavens Mystic Realm was as usual. However, some cultivators saw that some of the Immortal Court's troops had begun to patrol the various starfields. It didn't feel like they were patrolling, but looking for something. Of course, it didn't attract too much attention. The Immortal Institute was calm too. After returning from the Void Sky world, no one dared to provoke Jun Xiaoyao and the people around him anymore. Many disciples of the Immortal Institute started to cultivate diligently after obtaining the fortunate encounters. The Heaven Clan and the Forbidden Clans that appeared in the Void Sky world made them feel uneasy. It felt like the calm before the storm. Therefore, they cultivated diligently. The stronger they were, the more they could protect themselves. Meanwhile, Jun Xiaoyao purposely asked the Grand Elder to choose a place isolated from the outside world after returning to the Immortal Realm. No one would disturb him. Not long after Jun Xiaoyao went into seclusion, A shocking piece of news came from the Huntian immortal realm. An eerie blood-red star appeared in the immortal realm. It was flickering as if it was going to illuminate a certain place. The star was called Mars. It was rumored to be an inauspicious star. However, it wasn't Mars itself that was shocking. It was related to one of the 7 inconceivable things in the immortal realm. The 7 inconceivable things were the 7 great taboos in the immortal realm. Jun Xiaoyao had been to the Bronze Immortal Palace, the 19 floors of the Infernal Star, and so on. The legend related to the Mars Fiend Star. It was related to one of the 7 inconceivable things, the Forgotten Country. Rumor had it that it was an ancient forbidden land that was forgotten by time. It usually didn't show up in the world. Only the places illuminated by the Mars Fiend Star would show up in the Forgotten Country. Then, even more shocking news began to spread. The important ruins of the ancient Xian Ting were in the Forgotten Country. Chapter 1189. Each of the 7 wonders of the immortal realms was mysterious and eerie. Ordinary cultivators would never dare to set foot in them. Jun Xiaoyao was probably the only one who was able to come out unscathed after going through 2 unbelievable events. And this forgotten kingdom, even among the 7 wonders, was the most mysterious and treacherous. Rumors said it was a land that had been forgotten by time. No one could find its exact location. Only when the Chaos Demon Star appeared. Wherever its blood-red light shone, the Forgotten Kingdom would be revealed. That being said, there were many powerful cultivators in the immortal realms who managed to enter the Forgotten Kingdom by chance. However, many of them never came out after entering the Forgotten Kingdom. Many cultivators did not expect the ruins of the ancient Xian Ting to be in the Forgotten Kingdom. However, on second thought, the most dangerous place was the safest place. The ruins of the ancient Xian Ting were located in the Forgotten Kingdom, so it was difficult for outsiders to disturb them. The Xian Ting immediately took action after the news spread. Some people saw the Xian Ting sending out heavenly soldiers and generals to seal off the entire Huntian immortal realm, forbidding cultivators from other immortal realms from entering. Many cultivators cursed in their hearts. The ancient Xian Ting ruins. God knows how many fortunate encounters there would be inside. It was definitely priceless. It was equivalent to a supreme treasure vault that contained the most precious treasures of the ancient Xian Ting. Ordinary cultivators would be able to enjoy even 1 or 2 of them. The entire 9 heavens immortal realm was in an uproar because of the news. Of course, many people were curious about the Jun family's reaction too. After all, if the Xian Ting obtained the fortune of the ancient Xian Ting ruins, the Xian Ting's strength would skyrocket. It was not a good thing for the Jun family. However, the Chaos Demon Star had just shown up. There was still some time before the Forgotten Kingdom showed up. The 9 Heavens Immortal Academy was in a mess too. Even the geniuses of the 9 immortal factions, including Ling Yen and Gu Tizi, were summoned back. It was obvious that they were preparing for the Forgotten Kingdom. It was an important matter for the Xian Ting. As for Jun Xiaoyao, because he was in seclusion, he didn't know about this for the time being. Within the depths of Immortal Academy, within an ancient mountain range that was isolated from the outside world, spiritual qi was abundant here, forming a dense fog. There were jade grasses and exotic flowers, beautiful purple and brilliant red, evergreen all year round. This was Immortal Academy's most precious cultivation land. Generally speaking, it was the place where the Great Elder and the others cultivated in seclusion. But now it was given to Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao sat cross-legged in the center of this ancient land in a spotless white robe. He was ethereal, intelligent, and peerlessly handsome. At this moment, he was sitting cross-legged like an immortal. He was emptying himself to prepare for his breakthrough. After all, he had gained quite a lot this time. Jun Xiaoyao didn't want to delay any longer. He brought out the 3-world coffin. There was also a portion of law fragment energy left behind after refining the ultimate calamity. With the help of the energy, Jun Xiaoyao condensed his chaos immortal qi into the law of primal chaos. Also, the power of faith, Jun Xiaoyao had devoured and refined the primordial spirit of the Son of Truth in the void sky realm. Although it was only a portion of the primordial spirit energy of the Son of Truth. But for Jun Xiaoyao, it was still enlightening. It gave him a deeper understanding of the path of faith. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao himself also had a Dharma body of the God of faith. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao also had a deep understanding of the power of faith. After a period of time of comprehension, Jun Xiaoyao finally condensed the law of faith. This law of faith was resplendent. It was as if there were billions of living beings floating, praying, and worshipping, because Jun Xiaoyao had killed the ultimate calamity. Therefore, even now, there was still an endless stream of power of faith pouring into Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe. The law of faith has been condensed. Next is the law of strength. Jun Xiaoyao began to comprehend the law of strength again. He had the sacred body of the ancients, so his understanding of strength was naturally extremely deep. Later on, he obtained the divine demon strength technique from the little divine demon ant. His understanding of the path of strength was also very deep. It was not weaker than his understanding of the law of sword. After a while, Jun Xiaoyao condensed the law of strength again. Next, there is the path of yin-yang transformation. Jun Xiaoyao began to comprehend again. He had once killed the 10 princes of Jinwu and obtained the true essence of the Immortal Sutra of Sunday. He also obtained the Immortal Sutra of Taiyin from Yu Chanwan. In his inner universe there was also the sun and the Taiyin. The two stars alternated, representing the rotation of the sun and the moon, and the changes of yin and yang. Soon, Jun Xiaoyao condensed the law of yin-yang again. At this point, Jun Xiaoyao had condensed a total of 17 laws. This was an extremely terrifying number. 9 laws could be called the supreme of the extreme realm. What were those 17 laws? They were definitely far beyond the extreme realm. Jun Xiaoyao had broken through under such circumstances. No matter which stage of the 7 supremes he was at, he had the power to crush those of the same level. It's not over yet. Jun Xiaoyao took out the 6 paths of reincarnation, immortal root. This 6-colored flower was hazy and shrouded in immortal light. It carried the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation. This was a divine item that was close to the level of the world tree. It was also something that Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe could not lack. He planted the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root into his inner universe. Suddenly, the inner verse, which had been like a pool of stagnant water, began to come alive. To make an analogy, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe was like a pool of stagnant water. Even if a fish was placed in, without water to irrigate it, the fish would quickly die. However, the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root seemed to have turned the stagnant water into living water. All living things could be reincarnated in it. It was the 6 paths of reincarnation. In fact, Jun Xiaoyao did not even need to guide living things in from the outside world. The inner universe had the conditions to spontaneously give birth to life. This was like a real world, a world with reincarnation. Boom. In an instant, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe was like the creation of heaven and earth. Clear air rose. Turbid air descended. 6 paths of reincarnation. All living things reincarnated. My inner universe is advancing toward a minor 1,000 world. Jun Xiaoyao's expression shook, and he revealed a joyful expression. The level of the inner universe began from the microscopic world. It advanced step by step to the minor 1,000 world, the middle 1,000 world, the greater 1,000 world, the single universe, the multiverse, and so on. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe had always been at the level of a microscopic world. Now, with the long-term nourishment of the world tree and the addition of the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal root, Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe was finally evolving into a minor 1,000 world. His entire inner universe was trembling and expanding. This was different from the improvement of one's cultivation level. However, it was more important for Jun Xiaoyao. Generally speaking, one would only begin to cultivate after reaching the level of a quasi-emperor. However, Jun Xiaoyao was only a prime, but his inner universe had already begun to evolve into a minor thousand world. If this news were to spread, it would definitely cause endless shock. This was because Jun Xiaoyao had refreshed everyone's understanding of cultivation. As Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe gradually transformed, his understanding of the world Tao also became deeper. After all, this was the law that was evolving in his body. At a certain moment, Jun Xiaoyao's soul was blessed. The immortal qi in his body transformed again and turned into the world law. Chapter 1190. So far, Jun Xiaoyao had condensed a total of 18 laws. Physical body law, all things law, reincarnation law, void law, sin law, heaven law, devour law, great path law, life and death law, creation law, world law, magnetism law, chaos law, soul law, sword law, force law, faith law, yin and yang law. It could be said that if this were to spread out, countless people would be shocked. This was simply terrifying and unimaginable. It was already considered good for ordinary supremes to condense 1 or 2 laws. 9 laws was already the ultimate supremes and could stand at the peak of the supremes. But now, the laws that Jun Xiaoyao had condensed were twice as many as the ultimate supremes. This was ridiculous. It was simply not something that a human could do. It was not wrong to say that Jun Xiaoyao was an anomaly. It's about time to break through. Jun Xiaoyao nodded in satisfaction. He had been slow to break through to the celestial venerable realm because his laws were not condensed completely. But now, 18 laws was already considered very good. If he continued to cultivate, Jun Xiaoyao might be able to comprehend more laws. But that was meaningless, because Jun Xiaoyao had already broken the limit and reached a certain extreme and perfection. Continuing to comprehend more laws would only be a slight icing on the cake. It would not be a qualitative change. When I reach the Tao in the future, I will comprehend more laws. When that time comes, I will control the 3,000 great paths. Who can defeat me? Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. If anyone said that they wanted to control the 3,000 great paths, they would definitely be laughed at because they were overestimating themselves. But these words, coming from Jun Xiaoyao's mouth, seemed to be a matter of course. Oh right, my summer world. Jun Xiaoyao noticed it again. Previously, he had been cultivating the technique in the physique book. The 3,000 summer worlds. Previously, he had already condensed 2,000 of them. And now, with the transformation and evolution of the innerverse, the majestic power of the world was absorbed by the cells and cultivated into a Sumeru world. Unknowingly, the remaining 1,000 Sumeru worlds were also successfully condensed. Jun Xiaoyao had successfully cultivated the 3,000 Sumeru world. With a single palm strike, he unleashed the power of 3,000 Sumeru world. When an enemy's attack landed on him, it would have to pass through 3,000 Sumeru worlds before it could land on him. Jun Xiaoyao had successfully mastered the most powerful physique refinement method recorded in the Book of Physique. But why do I feel like this is just a starting point, a beginning? Jun Xiaoyao pondered. The 3,000 cells in his body had transformed into 3,000 Sumeru world. However, the human body had 40 to 60 trillion cells. If he could cultivate them all into Sumeru worlds, even Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but gasp at the thought. Just the 3,000 Sumeru worlds were already so terrifying. If one could really cultivate to that level, the human body itself would be an unimaginably powerful universe, right? At that time, with a single finger, the heavens would collapse and all Daos would sink. A single force could break all technique. Of course, this was only Jun Xiaoyao's guess. Moreover, just cultivating the 3,000 Sumer worlds would consume such a vast amount of world energy. If one really wanted to cultivate every cell in the human body into a Sumeru world, the amount of resources that would be required was simply unimaginable. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao only kept this idea in his heart. At this moment, in Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe, there was a sound that could split heaven and earth. That was Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe. It had finally transformed from a microscopic world into a minor kiliocosm. A minor kiliocosm was more than 1,000 times larger than a microscopic world. All kinds of celestial bodies moved within it, and the world energy flowed. The immortal source ancestral vein and the foreign dragon vein provided the inner universe with a huge amount of world energy. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe was full of vitality. At this moment, his cultivation base could no longer be suppressed and began to erupt like a volcano. Jun Xiaoyao didn't suppress it anymore and began to break through. Thunder rumbled and a terrifying heavenly tribulation descended on this ancient mountain range. However, because it was isolated from the outside world, not many people noticed it. Only Immortal Academy's great elder and the others who were meditating suddenly opened their old eyes, revealing a hint of surprise. This fluctuation came from that ancient land. It's Xiaoyao. Could it be that he is about to break through? Even Immortal Academy's great elder was shocked and astonished. How old was Jun Xiaoyao? At this age, becoming a supreme being was already an absolute monster. But now, it seemed like he was about to break through to Lesser Empyrean. The younger generation really will surpass us in time. Immortal Academy's great elder also shook his head with a bitter smile. Compared to Jun Xiaoyao, this group of old men, were simply living like pigs. It was to the extent where he felt that Jun Xiaoyao might be able to surpass him soon. However, Great Elder also rejoiced that Immortal Academy had roped in Jun Xiaoyao and befriended him. In the ancient land of seclusion, the heavenly tribulation was extremely terrifying. All types of chaotic divine lightning, world-destroying demonic lightning, seven-colored profound lightning, and other things surged, hacking down murderously. It could be said that this type of tribulation was many times more terrifying than the Nine Tao Law's extreme realm supreme being tribulation. If it was anyone else, even if it was an extreme realm supreme being who cultivated Nine Tao Laws, they would still be in danger of dying after being hacked by this type of heavenly tribulation. However, Jun Xiaoyao was extremely calm, to the extent where he didn't even deliberately resist. He bathed in lightning tribulation just by relying on his flesh. After cultivating the 3,000 Sumer worlds, Jun Xiaoyao's flesh became more and more terrifying. In addition, the inner universe had already evolved into a small 1,000 world. The current Jun Xiaoyao really couldn't be measured by his cultivation realm. Soon, the heavenly tribulation passed, not leaving behind the slightest injury for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao's aura also began to surge like a geyser. He broke through from Supreme Being to Lesser Empyrean. Early Stage Lesser Empyrean. Mid-Stage Lesser Empyrean. Late Stage Lesser Empyrean. Small Circle of Lesser Empyrean. Great Circle of Lesser Empyrean. Ordinary powerhouses would have to spend a lot of time in the Supreme Being realm to break through a small realm. However, Jun Xiaoyao broke through a large realm in an instant, reaching the peak of Lesser Empyrean. And this was only the realm he showed on the surface. His true strength was definitely not limited to this. To be able to break through a large realm in the 7 realms of the Supreme Being realm, it's not bad, right? Good preparation. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm. This was all within his expectations. Although the breakthrough of each small realm in the 7 realms of the Supreme Being realm was comparable to the superposition of the 9 levels of the Sage realm. However, Jun Xiaoyao had suppressed himself for too long. If he hadn't deliberately limited himself, Jun Xiaoyao would have broken through to Lesser Empyrean long ago. Therefore, this was also a result of good preparation. In the Empyrean realm, one's control of various laws has already reached the point of perfection. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand, and pieces of laws swam around his fingertips like fish. This was the power of a Empyrean. The control of laws was far from what a supreme being could compare to. Oh right, my inner universe. Compared to the breakthrough of realms, Jun Xiaoyao was more curious about the breakthrough of his inner universe. From a microscopic world to a minor kiliocosm, it was a qualitative change. However, it was much more difficult to transform a minor kiliocosm into a medium kiliocosm. It was not something that could be done overnight. This was because 1,000 minor kiliocosms added together were comparable to a medium kiliocosm, and 1,000 medium kiliocosms added together were comparable to a greater kiliocosm. One could imagine that it would take a long time for Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe to transform again. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao noticed that in his inner universe, there were 18 energy balls being born in the universe's origin energy. That's a connate godfiend. Jun Xiaoyao was really surprised. He thought of a word. The Eldritch World. Chapter 1191. Jun Xiaoyao was no stranger to the Chaos World. He was a transmigrator. At the beginning of the universe, heaven and earth had not been separated. Everything was chaotic. After that, clear air floated up, turbid air fell, and heaven and earth were separated. Between heaven and earth, 3,000 connate godfiends were born, representing the 3,000 great Daos. And now, Jun Xiaoyao was like a god of creation or an observer, observing his inner universe. Wasn't this similar to the legendary Chaos World? In the beginning, there were also connate godfiends. Of course, that was all. Dao ancestor Hong Jun, demon ancestor Rahu, dragon, phoenix, Qilin, and so on could not appear. Connate godfiends represented Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe. It had already begun to operate and could spontaneously give birth to living beings. The strength of the living beings in the inner universe was closely related to Jun Xiaoyao. After all, he was the god of the inner universe, a creator. The living beings born in the inner universe could not be far stronger than Jun Xiaoyao. Then, everything would be chaotic. If Jun Xiaoyao was strong enough, for example, in the future, he would truly become Celestial Emperor Jun. Then, his inner universe would naturally have the qualifications to give birth to incomparably terrifying living beings. Maybe Dao ancestors and demon ancestors could be born in his inner universe. But that was a matter for the future. 18 balls of energy, which means that there are 18 innate godfiends in the process of nurturing, and the laws that I've comprehended just so happen to be 18. A thought suddenly flashed in Jun Xiaoyao's mind. Every connate godfiend represented a law. It seems that in the future, I still have to continue comprehending laws. Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. If he really gathered 3,000 laws and gave birth to 3,000 connate godfiends, this in itself was an incomparably terrifying power. In fact, Jun Xiaoyao did not even have to do it himself. With 3,000 connate godfiends, all enemies could be killed. Phew, the harvest this time is really great, but it's not over yet. Jun Xiaoyao exhaled softly. He had condensed 18 laws. He had broken through to the peak lesser heavenly venerable in one go. The inner universe had evolved into a minor kiliocosm. He had cultivated 3,000 Sumeru worlds to perfection. Jun Xiaoyao's seclusion this time could be said to have gained a lot. His strength soared once again, and there was a qualitative change from before. The transformation of the innerverse alone was enough for Jun Xiaoyao to defeat his past self. But Jun Xiaoyao was still not satisfied. He still had things to do. He took out the drop of blood that had returned to its original state and was as red as agate. The drop of flawless saint blood in the void sky world. It came from the lineage of the divine physique, an unimaginable expert. I'll have to go back to the Huangtian mystic realm and ask Guardian Wu about the origin of this drop of blood. Jun Xiaoyao murmured. Then, he began to comprehend and refine this drop of blood. Of course, the energy in this drop of blood was too dense. Even Jun Xiaoyao could only refine it bit by bit. His main goal was not to use this drop of blood to temper his body. Instead, he wanted to use this opportunity to comprehend the sacred body phenomenon. The place of seclusion fell silent once again. Apart from Immortal Academy's great elder and the others, they vaguely sensed that Jun Xiaoyao might have broken through. No one else knew about it. However, Great Elder and the others guessed that Jun Xiaoyao had broken through to the early stage of Lesser Heavenly Lord. They would never have thought that Jun Xiaoyao had already broken through to the peak of Lesser Heavenly Lord. Immortal Academy fell into a temporary silence. However, the news of the appearance of Mars in the Huntian mystic realm also attracted a lot of attention. The people on Jun Xiaoyao's side prepared to wait for Jun Xiaoyao to come out of seclusion before telling him about it. After all, this was a great opportunity for the Xian Ting. If they inherited the resources of the ancient Xian Ting, it would not be a good thing for the Jun family and Jun Xiaoyao. Especially when Di Haotian came out, he would definitely be able to obtain the best resources of the ancient Xian Ting. This was not good news for Jun Xiaoyao. After all, the two of them were already on opposite sides when they were in the Void Sky world. At this moment, Di Haotian, who attracted a lot of attention, was still in seclusion in the palace. However, his Dharma body had already quietly arrived in the Huangtian mystic realm. The Demon God Palace was located in the demon state of the Huangtian mystic realm. It was also an extremely vast spiritual land. Although the Jun family was absolutely worthy of the title of overlord in the Huangtian mystic realm now. However, there were still other forces, sacred grounds, and noble families standing tall. The Demon God Palace was one of them. There was also another reason why the Demon God Palace was so famous. Naturally, it was because of the mysterious little demon empress. It was rumored that she was one of the most beautiful women in the Huangtian mystic realm. Her beauty was unparalleled. Many people wanted to see her face, but they never had the chance. The little demon empress was also extremely mysterious. She rarely appeared in front of people. Even when she went to find Jun Xiaoyao, she only possessed Yan Rumeng. Di Haotian's arrival did not alarm anyone. He went deep into the Demon God Palace alone. He came to a luxurious palace. There was only a large red bed in the palace. The curtains were lowered. A curvy figure was faintly lying in the bed. A languid and charming voice was heard. "It's not polite to come uninvited." Di Haotian smiled faintly and cupped his hands. "I am Di Haotian of the Xian Ting." It was a simple sentence, but it revealed his identity. It was a terrifying identity that was enough to intimidate most forces in the Nine Heavens mystic realm. "Oh, so you are the ancient Xian Ting young emperor who has caused a stir in the mystic realm recently. I didn't expect you to come looking for me. What a surprise." The owner of the voice, the little demon empress, referred to herself as I. However, when she talked to Jun Xiaoyao, she referred to herself as I. She even asked Jun Xiaoyao to call her Yao Yao. From this, it could be seen that the little demon empress did treat Jun Xiaoyao differently from others. Di Haotian naturally did not know about this small matter. Moreover, in his memories, there was nothing about Jun Xiaoyao. "I will be straightforward. I hope that Xian Ting can cooperate with the Demon God Palace, or I can cooperate with you, Demon Empress." Di Haotian went straight to the point. He had a lifetime of memories, so he knew what kind of power was behind the little demon empress. Cooperating with her would only bring him benefits and no harm. The power behind her, even in the Nine Heavens, was enough to make the other forbidden zones wary. The Immortal Court is actually cooperating with a tiny demon god palace? This is truly a surprise for me. The little demon empress seemed to be very surprised. Indeed, the demon god palace was a deterrent in the Huangtian mystic realm. However, compared to the supreme Xian Ting, the overlord of the mystic realm, it paled in comparison. The two were not on the same level. Di Haotian saw this and chuckled. "Demon Empress, you are too humble. Isn't the demon god palace a toy you created casually? It's like playing house. You are from the 9 heavens, and there is an unimaginable existence behind you. At this moment, the temperature of the entire palace suddenly dropped. A terrifying pressure appeared, making people feel as if they had fallen into an ice cave. A wisp of indistinct, killing intent locked onto Dihautyen. The little demon empress' tone became as cold as water. You are investigating me? Of course not. I just happened to hear some news. Cooperating with me to deal with the big waves in the future is a win-win strategy for both sides. Dihautyen's expression was still calm. He was smiling, as if he did not feel the killing intent. He was the ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting, and his status was extraordinary. Even if the little demon empress had a shocking background, at least now, she would not do anything to him. Moreover, he was only here with his Dharma body. It could be said that Dihautyen had calculated everything and was fully prepared. He was very calm. Sorry, I don't seem to be interested in cooperating with you. The killing intent dissipated. The little demon empress tone was still languid, with a trace of coldness that kept people 1,000 miles away. Why? Is this young emperor and the Xian Ting not qualified to cooperate with you? Dihautyen frowned slightly. The situation did not seem to be going according to his plan. Logically speaking, the little demon empress should be very happy to cooperate with him and the Xian Ting, because they were the best partners. Unfortunately, I already have someone in mind. I can only apologize. The little demon empress tone was indifferent. Oh, could it be? Dihautyen's eyes flashed, and he immediately thought of someone. Looks like you are also a smart person. That's right, I will cooperate with whoever the Huangtian immortal realm belongs to, the little demon empress said lazily. Jun Xiaoyao. Dihautyen spat out 3 words. Chapter 1192. That's right, it's Jun Xiaoyao. This empress has already decided to work with him. The little demon empress tone carried a trace of laziness and charm. When she mentioned Jun Xiaoyao, her tone was obviously different. Why? Dihautyen was puzzled and confused. This wasn't right. Wasn't she following the script? Working with him should be the most perfect and safest choice. The Jun family was already unstable due to the curse of calamity. And Jun Xiaoyao was provoking enemies everywhere. The Archean royalty and the Holy Spirit bloodline were on bad terms with him. This kind of person wasn't the best partner at all. The little demon empress giggled, then said, Young Emperor, young lady, please enlighten me. Your Excellency, young Emperor, let me give you a kind reminder. With women, don't ask why. Because women are such emotional beings. They don't have a reason for doing things, they only do what they want. Also, this empress also likes handsome little puppies. The little demon empress words slightly stunned Dihautyen. In the future, there would be a great storm. The immortal region and the 9 heavens would all be affected. In the end, the little demon empress chose to work with him so easily. The reason was just because she liked little puppies? Dihautyen couldn't understand at all. It was the same for Evers now. Could it be that women nowadays only looked at faces? Dihautyen even wondered if he had been sealed for too long and couldn't keep up with this era that looked at faces. Demon Empress, this is a big matter. I think you should think about it carefully, Dihautyen said. No need. Thinking is very tiring and very sad. It's also not good for the skin. The little demon empress voice was already somewhat cold. Dihautyen also understood that she was asking him to leave. All right then. My Xian Ting door will always be open. I hope you can change your mind. Dihautyen finished speaking and turned to leave. He was also a proud person. Since the little demon empress wasn't willing, he couldn't shamelessly ask for cooperation. This didn't match Dihautyen's identity and style. After leaving the demon god palace, only then did Dihautyen's face completely darken. Jun Xiaoyao, it's Jun Xiaoyao again. They say that you shouldn't do things more than 3 times, but this isn't the 3rd time. Ever since the Void Sky World, Jun Xiaoyao had been seizing his opportunities. Originally, without Jun Xiaoyao, he could have subdued Evers now. The little demon empress should also be very happy to cooperate with him. But now, all of them were taken by Jun Xiaoyao. Was Jun Xiaoyao the leak, or was he the leak? Most importantly, he had no memories of Jun Xiaoyao. As far as he could remember, Jun Xiaoyao was a non-existent person. Naturally, it would be difficult to target him. Why is it that a person who shouldn't exist has appeared? Could it be that he is not from this world? Di Haotian suddenly had a ridiculous idea in his heart. Even he himself felt that this was too much of a fantasy, and that it was unlikely. As a reincarnator, it was already extremely incredible that he could be reborn. He couldn't imagine how a person who didn't belong to this world suddenly appeared. Was this a confrontation between a reincarnator and a transmigrator? Di Haotian shook his head slightly, feeling that this idea was a bit too far-fetched. Since there was Jade, why would there be Jade? Since there is Di Haotian, why would there be a Jun Xiaoyao? Di Haotian's face was cold. But he wasn't discouraged. Di Haotian's temperament was unusual. Since the little demon empress is blocked, I can only make the next plan. Mars has appeared, and the Forgotten Nation is also about to appear. This is very important to my plan, and it is also related to the unification and rise of the Xianting. Jun Xiaoyao will definitely not come in. The Huntian Immortal Realm was the territory of the Xianting, and the Forgotten Nation also appeared in the Huntian Immortal Realm. Without the permission of the Xianting, it was almost impossible for others to enter the Forgotten Nation. Di Haotian left. He had to start preparing for the next step of the plan. And in the Demon God Palace, behind the curtains of the large red bed, the little demon empress beautiful figure of Linglong was extremely tempting. Di Haotian, why do I feel like he knows everything? Almost no one knows about my background, and I only told Jun Xiaoyao before. He couldn't have told Di Haotian. Di Haotian suddenly came to me and wanted to cooperate, as if he knows about the power behind me. The little demon empress tone was also filled with confusion. To be honest, she didn't like the feeling of having her background known. But then, the little demon empress said in a self-pitying tone, "Little brother Xiaoyao, I even rejected the cooperation with the Xianting for you. If you still ignore me like that, Yao Yao will be sad." Jun Xiaoyao naturally didn't know about what happened in the Huntian Immortal Realm. In fact, with Jun Xiaoyao's personality, he didn't care who he cooperated with. For him, only his own strength was real. All the other cooperation and schemes were just empty words. For absolute powerhouses, cooperation was superfluous. Over at the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy, Jun Xiaoyao had been using the drop of flawless sacred blood to comprehend the sacred physique after his breakthrough. And the entire Immortal Academy was still peaceful. In the days without Jun Xiaoyao, little Evers now was very bored. But fortunately, Jiang Luoli was there to accompany her. Also, little Evers now made a friend. It was Luo Xiangling. Perhaps it was because Luo Xiangling wasn't human to begin with. Therefore, little Evers now liked her pure and innocent temperament very much. She was willing to get close to her without any resistance. Luo Xiangling was also very fond of this little girl that Jun Xiaoyao brought out from the Void Sky realm. She doted on her a lot. She felt as if she was her and Jun Xiaoyao's daughter. Princess Longji, Yu Chanwan, and Yen Rumeng also couldn't resist this little girl's cuteness. Suddenly, little Evers now became a little princess-like existence in Jun Xiaoyao's camp. And the Immortal Academy was so peaceful and peaceful. It didn't last for long. A few months later, suddenly, a rumbling sound came from the depths of the universe. Then, many powerhouses, old antiques, and living fossils of the immortal realm felt a strange aura. It wasn't the aura of the Nine Heavens Immortal Realm. That aura, could it be when that aura spread out, the countless experts and old antiques of the immortal domain all turned their gazes towards the depths of the universe. Above the Nine Heavens. The special aura came from above the Nine Heavens. What's going on? Has the killing formation left by the martial monarch of the Void End completely collapsed and lost its effect? An old antique who was familiar with history blurted out in astonishment. In the past, the Void End formation was keeping the Nine Heavens forbidden zone in check. Therefore, the chaos that followed didn't result in irreversible consequences. However, if the Void End formation collapses, it will lose the last barrier that keeps the Nine Heavens in check. Furthermore, the immortal realm might be facing the most terrifying chaos in its history. Many important figures were deeply worried. The chaos was no less terrifying than the invasion of the Nine Heavens' immortal realm. Besides, it was a golden age. The chaos it stirred up would only be more terrifying. By then, any immortal realm faction might vanish like a fleeting cloud in front of the chaos. Wait, the Void End formation hasn't collapsed yet. The Forbidden Zone hasn't done anything. Could it be that the people of the Forbidden Clan have come to the lower realm? Why would the Forbidden Clan come to the lower realm at a time like this? The Nine Heavens' immortal realm fell into an uproar. On the Immortal Academy's side, the First Elder stood in the sky with his hands behind him. He had a worried look on his face. A storm is approaching. Chapter 1193. It was not a good thing for the immortal forces of the immortal region that the Forbidden Clans descended. Because this was a group of clans from above the Nine Heavens. They were backed by forbidden lands and had a deep foundation. Their strength even surpassed some of the ordinary immortal forces of the immortal region. If they descended to the lower realm, they would only disturb the originally peaceful situation. In the depths of the universe, there were several wells here. These wells were very ancient. They had experienced thousands of tribulations and were indestructible. In other corners of the universe, these wells could be seen occasionally. Each well was as big as a star region. They were so dark that they looked like black holes. This well was called the Well of Heaven Ascension. As the name suggested, this well was connected to the mysterious Nine Heavens. The Nine Heavens and the immortal region did not have the same relationship. They were equal. It was just that the Nine Heavens were independent of the immortal region and formed their own world. Therefore, it naturally formed the illusion of standing above the immortal region. Of course, the forbidden lands of the Nine Heavens were indeed ancient and terrifying. There was no doubt about that. The Well of Heaven Ascension was not the only portal between the immortal region and the Nine Heavens. However, it was the most convenient portal. Ever since the endless Heavenly Emperor quelled the chaos, the Well of Heaven Ascension was almost abandoned. Because of the endless killing formation, it created a certain restriction on the Nine Heavens. But now, in the depths of the immortal region, a Well of Heaven Ascension suddenly started to operate like a black hole. Then, a group of figures with powerful auras appeared. Is this the immortal region? It's just as usual. A middle-aged man smiled faintly. He did not look old. Although it was difficult for cultivators to age, he was definitely not more than a few thousand years old. His cultivation had reached the mystique venerable rank. In the immortal region, he would be an absolute genius. His cultivation speed was shockingly fast. This was the advantage of living in the Nine Heavens. On one hand, the Nine Heavens rules and spirit energy were different from the immortal region. On the other hand, they could also receive teachings from the Forbidden Lands. This also caused the Forbidden Clan's strength and foundation to be extremely shocking. They were even more powerful than some of the Clan of the Ancients and Supreme Clans in the immortal region. And they were only the vanguard of the Forbidden Lands. This showed how terrifying the true Forbidden Lands were. This time, the Yu clan has a mission in the lower realm, said another mystique, venerable rank powerhouse. They came from the Yu family, backed by the immortal mausoleum, one of the 10 great life forbidden areas. Of course, I also want to know what kind of person that Jun Xiaoyao who killed my younger brother is. A cold voice rang out. It was a young man with a slender physique. His black hair draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were as sharp as lightning. His entire body was enveloped in divine splendor, and his aura was extremely powerful. He was like a young god of war. He was a supreme genius of the Yu clan. His name was Yugon. His younger brother was none other than Yu Kuan, who had died at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. At first, he did not care about Yu Kuan going to the void heaven world. Because it was only the primordial spirit that entered, there would not be any life-threatening danger. However, no one expected Jun Xiaoyao to destroy Yu Kuan's primordial spirit with just one move. Even his original body outside the void sky world had died. This infuriated Yugon. In his eyes, the 9 heavens stood above the celestial realm, exuding an innate loftiness. Mr. Yugon, our main goal this time is not Jun Xiaoyao, but the girl from the Jiang family, someone on the side reminded him. Of course, but I heard that Jiang Luoli is Jun Xiaoyao's partner. If we break them up, a cold smile appeared on Yu Qian's face. Jun Xiaoyao was backed by the Jun family. It was unrealistic for him to want to avenge Yu Kuan and make Jun Xiaoyao pay with his life. At least a forbidden family was not qualified to go against the Jun family, let alone a life-forbidden zone. However, the woman who took Jun Xiaoyao away saw his painful expression. This could also be considered as a form of revenge on another level. Not long after the Yu clan arrived in the celestial realm. In another well of heaven ascension there was also a surge of aura, and a group of people appeared. They were the members of the Ji family. One of the beautiful women was Ji Yingying, who had appeared in the void sky world before. Find Jun Xiaoyao and ask for an explanation. Ji Yingying's face was fierce. She didn't want Jun Xiaoyao to pay with his life. But at least, she had to sincerely apologize to Ji Daoi and comfort his soul in heaven. Then, in another place, another group of people from the Forbidden family appeared. It was the Jin family. They were backed by the Saint Spirit Ruins, one of the 10 forbidden zones. As the name suggested, it was a forbidden zone where the immortal Saint Spirit was sleeping. Legend had it that the most terrifying Dark Saint Spirit and the immortal Fire Spirit were sleeping there. There were even rumors that the legendary powerhouse of the Saint Spirit Island, Shi Huang, was related to the Saint Spirit Ruins in the 9 heavens. I didn't expect the inheritance of ancient chaos to fall into the hands of the Son of God of the Jun family. This is a bit troublesome. A powerhouse from the Jin family side. If it were other geniuses, the Jin family would have directly destroyed them. But Jun Xiaoyao's identity was too special. He came from an immortal and powerful family. The Jun family's ancient mystery was not inferior to the Forbidden Zone. To put it bluntly, if the Jun family entered the 9 heavens, it would immediately become the 11th Forbidden Zone outside the 10 Forbidden Zones. It could even become a Forbidden Zone. Wherever they went, that place would be a Forbidden Zone. Therefore, this time, the Jin family's people came to the lower realm to test Jun Xiaoyao's attitude. It's very simple. We don't want his life. As long as he is willing to give up the inheritance of ancient chaos and hand over the ancient chaos emperor talisman, then he has nothing to do with the inheritor of ancient chaos. The Jin family's people discussed as they flew through the air. Who would have thought that the 3 great forbidden families came to the lower realm for the same person? If it was anyone else, this would be a kind of honor. Several days later, over at the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy, Jiang Luoli, who was cultivating, seemed to have vaguely sensed something. The primordial spirit world in her body seemed to be trembling slightly. Is it that aura? Jiang Luoli was ethereal and bright, her cheeks were smooth, and her eyes were like autumn water. At this moment, she looked into the distance and seemed to have sensed something. A few days ago, she heard someone in the Immortal Academy discussing that the creatures of the 9 heavens seemed to have come to the immortal realm. This made Jiang Luoli feel a little uneasy. Even if the opportunity she obtained might be related to the 9 heavens. However, she didn't want to leave immortal realm, even more so didn't want to leave Jun Xiaoyao's side. Meanwhile, right at this time, Suddenly, in the boundless cosmos not far from Immortal Academy's Immortal Island, there was a group of figures with extraordinary auras that appeared. "Who are you?" an Immortal Academy guard asked, shouting. "Hurring!" Someone in that group released a cold snort. It was immediately as if thunder exploded, heaven and earth shaking. Several Immortal Academy guards directly coughed out blood, seriously injured as they flew out. "What is going on? Someone dares to stir up trouble in my Immortal Academy?" The entire Immortal Academy immediately erupted into commotion. Many heavenly talents appeared. "We came to find someone, bring her to the 9 heavens. Jiang Luoli, come out!" An expert from the Yu family shouted coldly. Immortal Academy became restless, and then it erupted into chaos. 9 heavens, it's the people from the forbidden families above the 9 heavens. They really did appear, existences backed by mysterious restricted regions. Many Immortal Academy disciples' pupils were trembling. It was different from the void sky realm. These were true creatures of the 9 heavens, not void figures or magical bodies that came. What did this represent? Were the 9 heavens restricted regions going to make some great movements? "Those who came are guests, but you all don't seem to place my Immortal Academy in your eyes." Immortal Academy's great elder appeared, primal chaos Tao Sovereign's cultivation sweeping out, suppressing the commotion. However, on Yu family's side, every single one of their faces carried a hint of disdain. Ever since they entered the lower realm, they knew that not many powers in Immortal Domain dared to truly provoke them. It was because provoking them was precisely offending the restricted regions behind them. In the entire Immortal Domain, the powers that truly dared offend the life-restricted regions were few and far between. At the very least, 9 Heavens Immortal Academy couldn't be counted among them. Chapter 1194. 9 Heavens Immortal Academy was just an academy. Even though they had quite a bit of backing and connections, in the end it was just a place to educate people. Their true strength wasn't at the top. If they really offended a restricted region, not many powers would be willing to stand up for Immortal Academy. At worst, they wouldn't let their own juniors go to Immortal Academy to cultivate. This was also why Immortal Academy's great elder didn't hesitate to put down his face to curry favor with Jun Xiaoyao. Putting aside Jun family for now. With Jun Xiaoyao's talent, if he became a peerless expert in the future, he would at least care about some fate with Immortal Academy. He could protect Immortal Academy. This was enough. "This matter has nothing to do with Immortal Academy, you all do not interfere." An elder stepped out from Yu family, unexpectedly also having the cultivation of primal chaos Tao Sovereign. This left some Immortal Academy disciples shocked. Even in ancient families and unmatched great clans, primal chaos Tao Sovereigns were definitely old ancestor-level existences. Meanwhile, the 9 Heavens taboo families had primal chaos Tao Sovereigns following them whenever they went down. From this, one could see the background of the taboo families. This made some people feel restraining fear. Just the taboo families alone were already so terrifying. Then, just how powerful was the life-restricted region behind them? Immortal Academy's great elder's face sunk, extremely ugly. This was not putting Immortal Academy in his eyes at all, treating them as nothing. However, Immortal Academy's great elder was indeed conflicted. In the end, Immortal Academy was just an academy, difficult to compete with the families of the 9 heavens. Right at this time, a voice that was like a warbler leaving a valley sounded, carrying calmness. "Great Elder, this matter has nothing to do with Immortal Academy, they came to find me." Jiang Luoli appeared. Her figure was slender, her delicate body tall and graceful, her fine black hair tied into 2 ponytails. Her appearance was beautiful beyond compare, bright eyes and white teeth, like a fairy of heaven and earth, ethereal and intelligent, lovely and moving. Jiang Luoli only retained that type of naivety and innocence when she was at Jun Xiaoyao's side. During these years, her temperament had also been tempered. Right now, facing the taboo families from the 9 heavens, she didn't feel the slightest bit of fear, appearing extremely calm. Not bad after all. When you families people saw Jiang Luoli, their eyes shone brightly. They didn't expect that the inheritance of the strongest person in the immortal mausoleum would fall into the hands of such a young girl. Today, follow us back to the 9 heavens. Among the Yu family's people, a young man with a slender physique stepped forward. It was Yu Gan. There was a hint of coldness at the corner of his mouth. This coldness was not directed at Jiang Luoli, but at Jun Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli could naturally sense Yu Qian's coldness. She didn't back down and said, "Are the forbidden clans of the 9 heavens really that impressive? If Big Brother Xiaoyao wasn't in seclusion, do you think you could still talk like this?" Jiang Luoli's words caused Yu Gan's expression to darken. "My brother died in the void sky world. I haven't settled the score with Jun Xiaoyao yet. Who's your younger brother?" Jiang Luoli was confused. After all, at that time in the void sky world, he was harassed by the Yu family. Jun Xiaoyao sent out a beam of sword light, killing everyone right away. Therefore, Jiang Luoli really didn't know who his younger brother was. Yu Gan's face was trembling. His eyes were extremely cold and sharp, shooting out a cold light. His younger brother died tragically at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jiang Luoli asked who his younger brother was with a confused expression. Wasn't this a blatant provocation? Could she look down on him any more? "You don't have the right to take Luoli away. She's a member of the Jiang family." Another group of people came. It included the geniuses of the Jiang family and the Jun family, as well as Jun Xiaoyao's followers and friends. They were all in Jun Xiaoyao's circle. The one who spoke was an ancient freak of the Jiang family, Jiang Tianyan. He had appeared in the immortal ancient world and helped the Jun family. However, Yu Gan only glanced at him coldly. Then, he slammed his palm toward Jiang Tianyan at lightning speed. Jiang Tianyan also instinctively attacked. However, after the attack, Jiang Tianyan spat out blood and retreated. All the surrounding Immortal Academy disciples were stunned. No matter what, Jiang Tianyan was an ancient freak of the Jiang family. Although his strength wasn't at the top, he wasn't someone anyone could provoke. However, he was now vomiting blood after being slammed by a forbidden family's genius. 8. At least the power of 8 Tao laws. Some Immortal Academy disciples couldn't help but exclaim. This caused an uproar among the geniuses of Immortal Academy. As everyone knew, in the Supreme Realm, one's strength had a lot to do with the number of laws. A Supreme Being with 4 laws was enough to crush a Supreme Being with 2 laws. However, it was also very difficult to condense laws. Not everyone was like Jun Xiaoyao, who was able to comprehend laws as easily as eating or drinking. Many geniuses could condense 3 or 4 laws in the Supreme Realm, which was already very good. They would directly break through to the next realm. However, now, some geniuses noticed it. Yu Gan actually used 8 laws as soon as he attacked. He was close to the Supreme Realm. No wonder Jiang Tianyan was injured in a single blow. Is this a genius from above the 9 heavens? Isn't he too monstrous? The Forbidden Family's genius alone is close to the Supreme Realm. Wouldn't those Supreme Princes and outlaw geniuses in the Life Forbidden Zone be even more terrifying? From Yu Gan's corner, everyone felt the terror of the 9 heavens' strength. No wonder the beings of the 9 heavens looked down on the immortal region. If we also cultivate above the 9 heavens, wouldn't it be much better than cultivating in the immortal region? Many Immortal Academy disciples suddenly thought. However, even if they wanted to go, they weren't qualified. Jiang Luoli was qualified, but she didn't want to go. You've crossed the line. Jiang Luoli's pretty face was as cold as frost. They injured the Jiang family's people and wanted to take her away? I'll only stay by Big Brother Xiaoyao's side. You can give up. At least I won't go with you. Jiang Luoli only felt disgust toward the Yu family. She had obtained an opportunity above the 9 heavens. Logically speaking, even if they came to receive her, they should be polite. However, the Yu family wanted to take her away as if she was a criminal. However, Jiang Luoli also guessed it. This shouldn't be the intention of the life forbidden zone behind the Yu family. It was the Yu family's attitude. The reason was simple. Wasn't it just because Jun Xiaoyao killed some Yu family members? Did the Yu family feel unhappy? Also, Yugon only had this attitude because of his younger brother's matter. Jun Xiaoyao, where is he? Tell him to come out. When Yugon heard this name, a wave of anger surged in his heart. He wanted to meet the enemy who killed his younger brother. At this moment, another cold female voice sounded. Jun Xiaoyao, is it? Our Ji family also wants to meet him. Boom! Another group of people arrived, also carrying an ethereal aura from above the 9 heavens. The woman in the lead, her jade-like face cold, arrived here. Another forbidden family. The entire Immortal Academy was in an uproar. Cries of surprise rose and fell one after another. Chapter 1195. It could be said that at this point in time, the taboo families coming to the lower realm was definitely very sensitive and would attract the attention of the 8 forces. To a certain extent, these taboo families represented the attitude of the forbidden zones behind them. That was why these taboo families could be so arrogant and unscrupulous. Previously, the Yu family appeared. Although they came for Jiang Luoli, they also targeted Jun Xiaoyao. Now, the Ji family appeared again and targeted Jun Xiaoyao. No wonder someone gave the Jun family's Son of God the nickname of the King of Troublemakers. It's really a good image. But what kind of enmity does the Ji family have with the Jun family's Son of God? Many people were confused. Jun Xiaoyao seriously injured our Ji family's genius, Ji Daoi, in the world of the divine ruins. That was why Brother Daoi was killed by the foreign realm. Today, we are here to seek an explanation. Ji Yingying's voice was trembling. She and Ji Daoi were childhood sweethearts. Ji Daoi once told her that his opportunity was not in the 9 heavens, but in the immortal realm. When he returned with success, he would marry her. Who would have thought that they would be separated forever? However, when they heard Ji Yingying's words, many disciples of the Immortal Academy were a little speechless. This woman's brain circuit was indeed a little strange. How could this be blamed on Jun Xiaoyao? Then Jun Xiaoyao had injured many people. Wouldn't Jun Xiaoyao be blamed for everyone who died later? I seriously suspect that this woman's brain is damaged. What does this have to do with the Son of God? If you want to blame someone, you can only blame Ji Daoi for being too weak. Who else can you blame for dying in the hands of the foreign realm? That's right. Didn't you see that even the immortal sect didn't dare to pursue the Jun family's Son of God's responsibility? Although the Ji family is a taboo family in the 9 heavens, they don't have the right to go against the Jun family, right? Some disciples of the Immortal Academy whispered to each other. Of course, they were all communicating secretly with their divine thoughts. After all, behind Ji Yingying stood the taboo family. No one dared to mock her in front of her. However, everyone understood tacitly and felt that this woman was a little retarded. He seemed to have sensed everyone's mocking gazes. Even Ji Yingying's face was slightly red from embarrassment. But she was still strong. After all, she came from the 9 heavens and had the Forbidden Clan and the Forbidden Land behind her. All the forces in the immortal realm had to give her face. However, the others were afraid of her. Jiang Luoli was not afraid. When she heard Ji Yingying's words, she almost laughed out of anger. Woman, your way of thinking is really weird. Then I'll slap you right now. When you go back, you'll suffer from cultivation deviation and be struck to death by lightning. Then the Ji family will also want to settle the score with me, saying that I killed you. Jiang Luoli's eloquence was not bad to begin with. In addition, she had always been the apple of the Jiang family's eye. Ever since he was young, he had never lost an argument. Now, how could she let her big brother Xiaoyao be bullied by this brainless woman? You! Ji Yingying was so angry that her face turned pale. Jiang Luoli's words were sharp and vicious. She couldn't help but want to attack. At this moment, Yu Qian frowned and said, "Everyone from the Ji family, this woman is related to the immortal mausoleum behind my family. Don't bicker with her." Yu Qian's words made Ji Yingying sober up a little. She came here to seek justice from Jun Xiaoyao, not to quarrel with unrelated people. "All right, let Jun Xiaoyao come out," Yu Qian said indifferently. "You have no right to say such words." Yu stood out and said coldly. Yu Qian threw out another palm. When Yu saw this, he was already prepared and drew his bow. The power of laws gathered, turning into 9 arrows and shooting out. Just like Yi Shen who shot down the sun. With a loud bang, Yu was forced back a few steps, his expression still cold. Interesting. You can take my palm, seems like you're one of the strongest geniuses of Immortal Academy. Yu Qian said with his hands behind his back, a faint aura spreading. "I'm just young Master Xiaoyao's follower," Yu said coldly. Yu Qian's expression immediately froze. This was awkward. In his eyes, Yu was not weak and qualified to exchange blows with him and be his opponent. However, such a genius was just Jun Xiaoyao's follower? Then how strong is Jun Xiaoyao? Yu Qian's expression changed. Just as the situation was in a stalemate, another voice was heard. "Where's Jun Xiaoyao? Let him come out." Another group of people arrived, also carrying the aura of a creature from the 9 heavens. The forbidden family with the saint spirit ruins behind them, the Jin family, appeared. His countless gasps could be heard from all directions. Many people stood there in a daze, their expressions a little stupefied. The forbidden family that had attracted everyone's attention came down to the lower realm. They actually came for Jun Xiaoyao. Seems like the Son of God is not only stirring up clouds and rain in the immortal realm, even the 9 heavens are moving because of him. Many geniuses couldn't help but sigh. To be honest, if it was anyone else, they really wouldn't have the qualifications to make the 3 great forbidden families come down. Jun Xiaoyao was probably the only one capable of such a feat this time. Even Immortal Academy's great elders' expression couldn't help but change. Those were the 3 great forbidden families. It meant that there were 3 ancient forbidden families behind them. Forget about the 9 heavens Immortal Academy. If it was any other undying power, they wouldn't be able to withstand this kind of pressure. Apart from the Xian Ting, Underworld, Jun family, and a few other overlord-level powers, not many powers could withstand this kind of situation. Our 3 great forbidden families have all appeared, but Jun Xiaoyao doesn't plan to come out and meet us. Is he not putting us and the forbidden families behind us in his eyes? Yu Qian began to pull a tiger's skin to put pressure on Immortal Academy. Immortal Academy's great elder's expression was gloomy to the extreme. At this moment, a clear and cold voice carrying a wave of emperors might resounded. "Xiaoyao is cultivating in seclusion. Who dares to disturb him?" Following this queen-like mature sister's voice, a peerlessly beautiful woman in a plain long dress with azure long hair appeared. That snow-white peerless face seemed to make the world lose its brilliance. All the brilliance was reflected on her body. Apart from Luo Xiangling, who else could it be? In front of Jun Xiaoyao, she was nothing more than a gentle, little girl. However, at this moment, facing the 3 great forbidden families' attack on Jun Xiaoyao, she fully displayed the domineering aura of a queen. Handsome. Even Jiang Luoli's big eyes were shining with envy. She also hoped that there would be a day when she would have such strength and be able to stand up for her beloved. Boundary Emperor Yu Qian, Ji Yingying, and the others' expressions changed slightly. When someone of this level appeared, no one could remain calm. Beside Luo Xiangling, a small head popped out. She was wearing a small white dress. Her silver hair was soft and smooth, and her skin was pink and tender. Her facial features were exquisite and cute, like a porcelain doll. Who else could it be but little Evers now? "Are you bad people who came to disturb Daddy?" Little Eversnow's big eyes also revealed a vigilant look. However, some of the experts from the three great clans were a little surprised when they saw little Evers now. They vaguely sensed a trace of a special aura. However, it was also vague, as if it was an illusion, before they could investigate carefully. On the other side, Fufeng of Gojoseon also appeared, also releasing the aura of a Boundary Emperor. Two Boundary Emperors appeared immediately to protect Jun Xiaoyao. Even the three forbidden clans had a grave expression on their faces. Even in the 9 heavens, Boundary Emperors were the most powerful, and in the forbidden families, they were supreme ancestors. However, now 2 of them appeared at once. Were Boundary Emperors so worthless? However, the 3 great forbidden families clearly came prepared. The Yu family brought out a stone statue, and the Ji family brought out a painting scroll. They both emitted a faint emperor's might. Clearly, this was the work of a true emperor. It was a method they used to intimidate after descending to the lower realm. In an instant, everyone could feel the strong smell of gunpowder. Many Immortal Academy disciples were a little nervous. Could it be that a great conflict would erupt today? Just as the atmosphere was as tense as a bowstring. Suddenly, in the depths of Immortal Academy, a rumbling sound rang out. Multicolored light shot out in thousands of streaks. A transcendent figure came from the hazy chaos, as if he walked out from the ancient universe when heaven and earth were created. His elegant demeanor was exceptional. I didn't expect that an esteemed guest from the 9 heavens would come. This June is a little overwhelmed by the favor. This voice carried a light laugh, but also a kind of mockery. It was a kind of careless contempt and disdain. The main character is here.